This audiobook is a non-profit fan adaptation of the web novel The Primitive Ancient Snake. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 301. Not long after, the appearance of divine prison shocked Chaos City and was known to countless gods. Damn it! Did you hear that? King Flame Hammer asked the lord of the city to make a prison, which even the gods could easily suppress and could not escape. Some gods shouted, "Real or fake?" Of course it's true. Shadow King, Starboxing King, and other repeat offenders were all caught and have not been released until now. It's over. It's really over now. Doesn't that mean that it will be almost impossible for us to escape from prison in the future? It is definitely impossible. Once you enter the divine prison, your cultivation will be completely sealed. No matter how powerful your magic is, it will be impossible to escape from the divine prison. Not only that, this prison has been equipped with many powerful prohibition formations by the city lord. Once it gets close, even the God King may be wiped out and wiped out. This bastard Flame Hammer King is really harming others and not benefiting himself. Doesn't he want to kill us by bringing this thing out? It seems that you have to pay more attention in the future, otherwise if you are caught, you will definitely not be able to come out. Many gods were talking about it, and their faces were very ugly. If it were a prison refined by ordinary gods, they might not take it seriously, but it was a divine prison refined by the Lord of Chaos City, and its power can be imagined. For a time, many things like running red lights, drunken troubles, and petty thefts in Chaos City suddenly disappeared. The moral integrity was shaken, and all the Chaos Demon gods restrained their behavior. And the reputation of King Flame Hammer also increased. The bigger he is, of course, he is also hated by many gods. They are all discussing when to give the Flame Hammer King a blow to show this guy how powerful he is. But not long after, something happened in the Chaos Library that shocked the gods even more. No matter what the name is, the new work of Lord City Lord was born. The news spread all over Chaos City in an instant, and even all over the world. Because since the establishment of the Chaos Library, Wuxia has rarely created new magical powers, new techniques and secrets, and newly born books are basically created by many beings themselves. However, the many supernatural powers and techniques left by Wuxia, as well as the Tao Sutras, are still classified as classics by countless beings. Especially the 3,000 Tao Sutras. Even the gods need to borrow them frequently, comprehending the 3,000 avenues. Just borrowing it once requires spending a lot of chaos coins. Many gods are reluctant to borrow it frequently, and only come once when they encounter bottlenecks. And now the Lord of Chaos City actually has a new book born. How is this? A major event. 3 million gods were alarmed by this incident, and everyone was curious about what kind of books the Lord of Chaos City had created. Look, the name of the book is The Forbidden Book. Forbidden Book? What kind of knowledge is this book describing? Since it is a book created by the Lord of the City, it must have infinite mysteries. Many gods immediately went to the Chaos Library to borrow this book. They couldn't wait to read it. Although a large amount of chaos coins was needed to read it once, they didn't care. Wait, 129,600 chaos divine taboos and 30 million innate divine taboos. When a god saw this book, he suddenly felt thunderous, as if he had received a powerful enlightenment. I see. Is there something so mysterious inside the magic weapon? It's incredible. It was immediately shocked by the contents of the book, as if a new world had been opened. Many gods had forged magic weapons before, and many powerful magic weapons had been born. However, those gods forged magic weapons based on experience, without science. The method is certified, but I know it but don't know why. Therefore, the success rate of forging magic weapons is not very high, and there is a high possibility of failure. But it is different now. This forbidden book systematically explains the principles of the formation of magic weapons, as well as the forbidden formation contained inside. This seems to have laid the foundation of science. It makes all the gods feel refreshed and suddenly enlightened. And no Chaos Demon God has ever done such a systematic and detailed explanation before. After all, it is not any gods can reach the level of Furukawa and can easily analyze the forbidden formations contained in countless magic weapons, peel off the cocoons, and obtain the complete Chaos Divine Forbidden and Innate Divine Forbidden. This is like analyzing the stone from a stone with no doubt. How many elements does it contain? If Furukawa didn't have the Chaos Bagua technique, a computing power that transcends the Great Tao, and is able to peel off cocoons among countless magic weapons and constantly summarize and analyze, I'm afraid it would be difficult to do this. As long as we master the Chaos Divine Forbidden and the Innate Divine Forbidden, we can also forge innate magic weapons, even chaotic magic weapons. A god is extremely excited. To be honest, magic weapons can greatly improve the strength of cultivators. If you have a magic weapon in hand, you can increase your combat effectiveness several times and even challenge you by leapfrogging. Gods with magic weapons and gods without the gods of magic weapons are fundamentally two different things. The problem is that the number of innate magic weapons bred by heaven and earth, as well as the chaotic magic weapons bred by chaos, is too small, not enough for 3 million gods. Magic weapons are always in scarcity. Their status and value are rising steadily. If they can refine their own magic weapons, then they don't need to ask for help, and their combat effectiveness can be greatly increased. No. This Chaos Divine Forbidden and Innate Divine Forbidden can not only be used to refine magic weapons, but what is even more powerful is that it can arrange heaven and earth formations, even chaotic formations. A god's eyes showed a glimmer of light. Previously, the Lord of the City arranged the Chaos Star Array to protect the heavens and the world, and established a vast Chaos Array. This is like a miracle. Before, I was puzzled and had no idea how such a formation was arranged. It turned out that the Lord of the City had already understood the principle of the forbidden formation. He feels that the potential of this forbidden book is not just that. It can not only be used to refine magic weapons, but also can be used to lay out powerful formations. It's too powerful. If you can properly use the Chaos Divine Forbidden and the Innate Divine Forbidden and deploy a super formation, even a weak life can rely on the formation to compete with powerful enemies. This is the power of the forbidden formation. It can attack the strong with the weak. No. The power of the formation lies not only in attack, but also in defense. If you can set up mountain-protecting formations, you can easily protect each divine kingdom, each sect, and even each world. Many gods are not fools. Their eyes flickered, and they deduced countless possibilities of using forbidden formations at once. The more they deduced, the more they felt that the power of this forbidden book was simply unfathomable, like chaos. Generally, there is almost no end. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 302. No. The Chaos Divine Forbidden and Innate Divine Forbidden in this forbidden book can not only be used to refine magic weapons and arrange large formations, this power can even be used to refine pills. A god's eyes showed a glimmer of light. At this moment, many gods have tried to make elixirs because there are many innate elixirs born in the world. It is too wasteful to take just one elixir, and the effect of the medicine may be wasted. 90%. Among them, some gods discovered that when different elixirs are combined, they can actually fuse with each other and condense into a pill, which can even exert perfect medicinal power without conflicting with each other. After countless years of research, some gods have developed a lot of elixirs and refined different elixirs. But even so, it is still very difficult to refine elixirs into elixirs. There are only a handful of them because there are so many elixirs in the world. There are many different medicinal properties, and they are different from each other. It is extremely difficult to fuse different elixirs together. But now some gods have discovered that if in the process of refining the elixir, the innate divine ban, or even the chaos god if it is forbidden, the medicinal power of these elixirs can be perfectly integrated in an instant. If more innate divine forbidden pills are integrated, more heaven-defying divine pills can be refined. The power of this forbidden pill can be greatly enhanced. The medicinal properties of elixirs solve the conflict of medicinal properties between elixirs. This is simply a major initiative to promote the development of elixirs. I understand. It turns out that's the case. No wonder I have repeatedly failed in refining alchemy. It turns out that it is due to the lack of innate divine prohibition and chaotic divine prohibition. The principles of alchemy and weapon refining are the same. A god was extremely excited, with a glimmer of light in his eyes. Tool refining is actually to fuse different materials together. It requires innate divine prohibitions to fuse the materials and connect them to each other. In the same way, alchemy also fuses different elixirs together. The medicinal properties of these elixirs can be solved with the power of the innate divine forbidden or chaos divine forbidden. Just like clearing the veins, the medicinal properties do not conflict with each other and are perfectly integrated. It felt that he had an epiphany, as if he had seen a new world. The appearance of this forbidden book seemed to have opened a new world for him. The art of refining pills would definitely develop by leaps and bounds. It was not just this god is like this, and those gods who like alchemy are not fools. They also quickly discovered the compatibility of the art of alchemy and the art of prohibition. The two are simply a match made in heaven. No. This book of restrictions has endless potential, and the power of countless divine restrictions has endless magical uses. We can even use these innate divine restrictions and chaos divine restrictions to deduce the future and track cause and effect. Some gods have realized the other side of knowledge. They feel that such forbidden techniques can deduce the future, ever-changing, and track cause and effect, as if it is the way of heaven, all-encompassing, and contains infinite mysteries. Suddenly, it fell into an epiphany. Endless forbidden methods are integrated into the depths of its sea of consciousness, and it seems that at this moment it has seen countless time and space scenes in the future. But this forbidden book is too difficult. Many gods said with emotion. To be honest, if you want to fully understand the innate divine forbidden city, you need to understand 30 million Tao. This is such a huge number. Even if you are as smart as a god, you need to fully understand the 3 Tao. Thousands of innate divine prohibitions require endless years of time. It is so difficult for even gods to understand, let alone ordinary life. I am afraid that even if you see these innate divine prohibitions, you'll be confused and have no way to start. As for the chaos divine taboo, there are 129,600. Each chaos divine taboo is extremely difficult to understand. It is countless times more difficult than the innate divine taboo. It is extremely difficult for even gods to understand a chaos divine taboo. To understand the 129,600 chaos divine forbidden words is simply more difficult than for a mortal to ascend to heaven. This is just like ordinary people who want to learn advanced mathematics or advanced physics, even if they have this book in their hands. How many people can learn advanced mathematics and advanced physics? And this is under the guidance of a teacher. If there is no teacher's guidance, it will be impossible to even get started. The same reason, a large number of chaos demon gods have obtained the prohibition. After reading the book, although they know that this book has endless magical uses, few can learn it completely. But even so, they do not need to completely learn all the innate divine forbidden words and chaotic divine forbidden words. Even if they understand part of it, it is enough for them to endless benefits. It's so amazing. He is worthy of being the Lord of the city, a great supernatural power that reaches the heaven and the earth. Is not that right? This forbidden book simply expounds the infinite principles of heaven and earth and the infinite mysteries of laws. Only a being like the Lord of the city can write this book. This is simply a supreme Taoist scripture. It would be great if I could become the disciple of the Lord of the city, so that I could listen to the teachings of the Lord of the city all the time. Stop dreaming. Many god kings want to become the disciples of the city lord. How can ordinary beings have this opportunity? Indeed, so far, the city lord seems to have never recruited a disciple. Maybe the city lord won't recruit disciples. After all the gods got the forbidden book, they were all filled with emotion. The more they studied it, the more they realized that this book has infinite uses and contains infinite mysteries. What is a great supernatural power, and what is a master? Difficult things are explained in an extremely simple way. This means that those with great supernatural powers have completely understood this kind of thing. Anyone who is a little confused cannot express this knowledge in such a light and yet important way. As for the laws of heaven and earth, the laws of the Great Road, how difficult it is to understand them. This is something that is mysterious, unfathomable, and cannot be described in words. However, the Lord of Chaos City used a forbidden book to describe it. It is conceivable that the chaos the realm of the city lord has surpassed those of the chaos demon gods no matter how many times. At this moment, in the magic world, chaos magic weapons such as the dividing treasure rock, the time and space gate, the god-killing bow, the sky-suppressing coffin, and the sky-swallowing bag also saw the book of restrictions created by Furukawa. As magic weapons, they are particularly sensitive to the power of the Chaos Divine Forbidden and the Innate Divine Forbidden. Familiar. Because these themselves are the power in their bodies. Just like the law of the Great Tao exists in the body of the Chaos Demon God, and the existence of the Chaos God's forbidden body exists in these magic weapons, it's just that they didn't understand their own bodies before, nor did they understand the source of the essence of their power. Just like the Chaos Demon God before, he doesn't know the source of his power or how to practice it. So that's it, the power of the Chaos God Forbidden. That is to say, if our magic weapon wants to be powerful, we must increase the power of the Chaos God Forbidden. The Gate of Time and Space is extremely excited. She seems to have found a way to become stronger. Not only that, the Chaos God Forbidden can not only increase our strength, but can even temper our body, making our magical body more powerful. Not only that, we can even combine many magic weapons to set up large ban arrays and exert the power of all magic weapons. After all, who can be more familiar with the power of bans than us? This is our innate magical power. As expected of the Lord of Chaos City, he is so powerful. We don't know how long we have been thinking about how to make the magic weapon stronger, but it has no effect. However, the Lord City Lord found this way in just a moment. From now on, our magic weapon clan can also become the pinnacle race in the chaos, and the forbidden method will make our clan rise. Many magic weapons are extremely exciting. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 303. At this moment, in the central dojo of Chaos City. Sure enough, the emergence of chaos restriction and innate restriction has greatly promoted the development of cultivators. Furukawa smiled slightly. He sensed that during this period of time, more and more secret books on alchemy, weapon refining, and formations appeared in the Chaos Library. It was simply an explosive growth. The appearance of these secret books also made he benefited a lot.
Boom tilde tilde.
In an instant, he felt the vast information of the law of the Great Avenue pouring into the depths of his consciousness. Since he understood the Chaos Divine Forbidden and the Innate Divine Forbidden, he had no idea about the origin of the Chaos Law. His enlightenment became faster, and he seemed to be in the process of enlightenment every moment. In just a period of time, he actually mastered 200 great laws, which means that he has mastered 2,000 great laws. Originally, after being promoted to the realm of Hongmeng Saint, the speed of cultivation should slow down, but his speed of cultivation is getting faster and faster, which is simply an anomaly. At this moment, Furukawa's heart moved. He immediately felt that the morning light of the world tree was producing powerful power fluctuations, as if it was attacking somewhere. In fact, the plant demon gods such as the world tree also lived in the central dojo, so he can easily sense any fluctuations in their power. Of course, even if they are not in the central dojo and are in any corner of the world, as long as he is willing, he can easily sense their existence. What happened? Who are you attacking? Furukawa was very curious. The fluctuations in his soul spread out in an instant, and he saw a branch of the world tree crossing the void and blasting directly towards the prehistoric world. She seemed to have found a part of the Prohibition formation in the prehistoric world. There are loopholes everywhere. This green branch penetrates directly, as if attacking a place in the prehistoric world. Is the prehistoric era in the midst of a dragon and phoenix catastrophe? No, it seems that it is not just the dragon and phoenix catastrophe, but the catastrophe of the 5 tribes. Is that little guy helping the Wood tribe to compete for the leading role in the world? Furukawa's mind moved, and he scanned the entire prehistoric world in an instant, and he immediately knew what happened. Move forward a little bit in time. Driven by many chaos demon gods and the continuous expansion of the power of the 5 major races in the prehistoric world, they could no longer control their ambitions. In order to seize more territory, a tragic war broke out. As the race that occupies the largest territory and has the largest number, the dragon race naturally has a great advantage. They simply swept across an area and defeated the other 4 major races. The giant dragons occupy the sky, the earth, and the ocean. Basically, the dragons can be seen on the sea, land, and air. This is simply the age of the dragons. Their territory spreads all over the ancient world, and countless weak races can only rely on them to survive. But soon, the other 4 major races were not vegetarians and joined forces to attack the Dragon Clan. The result can be imagined. Although the Dragon Clan is powerful, the opponents of the other 4 major races were immediately defeated, and the dragons suffered heavy casualties. But the Dragon Clan is not stupid and resorted to alienation tactics. After all, the 4 major races, Xuanwu Clan, Phoenix Clan, Wood Clan, and White Tiger Clan, were not very united. When they were separated by the Dragon Clan, the alliance of the 4 races immediately collapsed, and each of them fought independently. It can be said that the war between the 5 major races has simply spread over time and lasted for hundreds of millions of epochs. They fought again and again, and fought again and again, causing the world to be devastated and countless weak races to perish. Even the 5 major races are severely damaged, and no one can do anything about them. The entire prehistoric world has been engulfed in horrific wars, with flames of war, fighting and death everywhere, and all kinds of monsters appearing, full of blood and terror. But at this time, the 5 major races originally thought that the war would continue like this and maintain a balance of terror, but they never expected that the 6th party force would suddenly come out. That is the demon from the Netherworld Blood Sea. It can be said that the Netherworld Blood Sea is the dirtiest place. The monsters born from this place are extremely terrifying, many times more terrifying than the Netherworld Blood Sea in the previous life. Because the power of the Netherworld Blood Sea not only accumulates the resentment of the Chaos Demon gods who died, but also contains the resentment of the Doomsday Death. When the two are combined, the monsters born are even more terrifying. Therefore, trillions of monsters emerged from the sea of blood in the underworld and simply swept across the world. The 5 major races were already on the verge of death due to the protracted war. Now, the 6th party has actually emerged. How can they resist it? Even though the 5 major races are extremely powerful, they cannot compete with these demons from the Netherworld Blood Sea. As one can imagine, the 5 major races were sorted out like chopping melons and vegetables. Countless tribesmen perished. The sky, the earth, and the sea were all filled with the corpses of the 5 major races. Even the Chaos Demon gods who helped the 5 major races suffered most of their casualties. Facing the demon army controlled by Rahu, even the Chaos Demon gods could not withstand it and were retreating steadily. Moreover, Luo, who had no intention of showing any mercy. After all, this was a fight for the road to sainthood. No mercy was allowed. Even if everyone was the Chaos Demon god, there would be no mercy. So Luo, who led the army of demons to sweep across the world. In just a few years, he swept through the prehistoric world and almost completely crippled the 5 major races. It is estimated that it won't be long before he can exterminate the 5 major races, making the demons the real protagonists of the prehistoric world, and he will also be about to obtain a large amount of Hongmeng purple qi. Especially the Mu tribe, as the weakest race, also suffered the most brutal attack from the demon army. Countless tribesmen died tragically at the hands of the demons. After all, they move too slowly and cannot escape even in the face of crisis. Therefore, the members of the Mu tribe were slaughtered one after another. Not long after, the demon army directly attacked the headquarters of the Wood Clan. They wanted to kill all the elites of the Wood Clan. Then the Wood Clan would be completely extinct. At this moment, at the Wood Clan headquarters, many Wood Clan elders gathered together with solemn expressions. The leader of the Mu clan is the Tongtian Jianmu tree. Its body reaches the sky and the earth, as if penetrating the heaven and the earth. It exudes majestic power and contains infinite light. Obviously, its cultivation has reached the realm of quasi-sage perfection. It is only one step away from being promoted to the realm of saint. In fact, the patriarchs of the 5 major races have basically reached the state of quasi-sage perfection. Patriarch, the army of monsters has arrived at the outskirts of our Wood Clan's camp. The enemy is coming fiercely. It is said that the demon ancestor Rahu is also among them. What should we do? Many elders of the Wood Clan looked solemn. They were worried and helpless. The primitive ancient snake. Chapter 304. Where are the Dragon Clan, Phoenix Clan, Xuanwu Clan, and White Tiger Clan? When will they arrive? Tongtian Jianmu asked in a deep voice. Patriarch, they have too much time to take care of themselves now. They are besieged by demons. Even if they want to rescue, I am afraid they are powerless. A Wood Clan elder said helplessly. To be honest, it asked for help from the beginning, but the other 4 major races were too busy to take care of themselves. How can they allocate their forces to save the Wood Clan? Now they can only take care of themselves. Patriarch, let's run away. With our strength, we are no match for those monsters. An elder said in a deep voice. Escape? How to escape? This place has long been surrounded by those monsters. Where should we escape? Yes, the entire prehistoric era has been swept away by those demons. No matter where they escape, it is their territory. There is no escape for us. Many elders of the Wood Clan said helplessly. They are extremely desperate because they can't fight or escape. Isn't this the most desperate state? It seemed that the only option was to follow the advice of those guest elders, pay homage to heaven and earth, and communicate with the legendary plant demon. Tongtian Jianmu said. The so-called Elder Kaching is the chaos demon god who joined the Mu clan before. It's a pity that those elders of the Kaching were attacked and killed by the demon ancestor during the previous battle with the demon. Otherwise, how would our Wood Clan be in the situation we are in now? An elder of the Wood Clan said helplessly. Several chaos demon gods joined the Wood Clan before and successfully became the guests of the Wood Clan. After countless years of fighting side by side, they have long been as close as a family. But who could have imagined that Luo, who led a large number of demons to kill, came out, sweeping the world, creating a monstrous demonic disaster. And those chaos demon gods were not aware of it for a moment, and were secretly attacked by Luohu, and ended their lives. As a result, before they could get the Hongmeng purple chi, they became ashes in the disaster, completely death. One cannot see the outcome after this catastrophe at all. However, this is also a catastrophe on the road to sainthood. I don't know how many quasi-sages have perished on the road to sainthood. But can it really succeed? A memorial ceremony would require most of our Mu clan's treasures. A Wood Clan elder said hesitantly. They had known about this memorial method before, but they had never used it. This was because the treasures required for a memorial ceremony were too many, and at least half of the Wood Clan's wealth was wiped out. Therefore, they have never agreed to consume so many treasures in one memorial ceremony. But now at this critical moment of life and death, they have to consider this last resort. There is no way if you don't pay tribute you will die, but if you pay tribute, you may still be alive. This is our last resort, and even if these treasures are not consumed, we will not be able to keep them after the demons come in. Tongtian Jianmu said in a deep voice. The other elders of the Wood Clan couldn't help but nod. It's true. Even if they don't use these treasures, they won't be able to keep them after the monsters come in. In this case, let's not waste time and build an altar directly to worship the heaven and earth and communicate with the ancestor of all trees. Tongtian Jianmu shouted loudly. Yes, Patriarch. Many elders of the Wood Clan immediately accepted the order. It didn't take long for the altar to be filled with densely packed precious sacrifices. These were treasures they had collected for who knows how many years, and now they were all taken out. Although they were very reluctant to give up, there was nothing they could do about it. "Let's start," Tongtian Jinmu said in a deep voice. Rumble. In an instant, an elder of the Zunmu clan infused his own original energy into it. In an instant, the entire altar shook and dense chaos runes emerged. Buzzing. Immediately, all the sacrifices on the altar disappeared, and a huge beam of light instantly penetrated the void, penetrating infinite time and space, and seemed to be connected to a powerful existence in the depths of time and space. Success? Success? Many elders of the Wood clan looked at each other. They followed the method taught by the elders of the Kaching, but they were not sure whether it would be successful. A memorial service may also be required. Tongtian Jianmu hesitated for a moment, and then said, "Master Yggdrasil, please show mercy and save the Mu clan that is about to become extinct." An elder of the Mu clan formed a seal with his hands and immediately poured his thoughts into it. It seemed to form countless runes of chaos, causing chaos in the world. Resonance of law. "I'm so annoyed. Who is buzzing in my head all day long? Don't you know I'm playing a game? There is a boss that I almost beat to death. If it makes me disconnect, I will never be done with you." At this time, a clear voice suddenly came from deep inside the altar, and he was very impatient. "What?" A group of Wood clan elders were stunned. They had no idea what this mysterious voice was saying and what it meant. When playing games, what are bosses? Are they really communicating with the great, indescribable ancestor of all plants, the god who runs through all the heavens and worlds? Huh? What kind of world is this? Why haven't I seen it before? No, this is the prehistoric world. Wasn't this world sealed by Furukawa? Suddenly the voice sounded again, and then a pair of eyes appeared from above the light pillar. Immediately, all the elders of the Wood clan almost went crazy. What kind of eyes were they? They seemed to contain the power of heaven and earth. That it is a terrifying force that cannot be measured, cannot be looked directly at, and cannot be described. Just by looking at them, they cannot bear it. Even their souls are shattered under such terrifying pressure at this moment. It seems that endless information is pouring into their bodies, deep in the sea of consciousness, almost bursting their souls. Ah! Suddenly, the elders of the Wood clan let out shrill screams. They were going crazy. Just one glance. As quasi-sages, they couldn't bear it and were about to die. Even Tongtian Jianmu felt it. That unparalleled divine power, even if it is separated by an unknown amount of time and space, even if it is just a wisp of breath, it seems to be able to crush the void. What a terrifying existence they have communicated. But that voice, it was passed over again. Interesting, really interesting, it's actually a prehistoric world. That guy Furukawa has sealed this world for so long. What's so great about it? Let me go in and take a look. As soon as he finished speaking, emerald green branches immediately appeared from the depths of the void of the light pillar, filled with a terrifying breath of chaos, which seemed to obliterate all laws. Even if a wisp of chaos fell down, it would be easy. Shocked to death all life in this area. All the elders of the Wood tribe were so regretful that their intestines turned green. They had communicated what kind of terrifying existence they were, and actually came to this world in person. It is estimated that the threat level of this terrifying existence is higher than that of that group of people. Monsters don't know how terrifying they are. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 305. Click-crack. Under the horrified eyes of all the elders of the Wood clan, the terrifying tree branches seemed to be tearing apart the space, and the surrounding void made a clicking sound, as if a dark wormhole was about to be opened. They could sense the chaotic aura coming from the green branches, and just one wisp of it was enough to wipe them out. Each and every elder of the Wood clan was prostrate on the ground, because the terrifying chaotic air current crushed them so hard that they could hardly stand up. It was like countless mountains crushing them down, and they were so shocked that they almost vomited blood. Oops. At this moment, the voice came with a sound of panic. Rumble. In an instant, this move touched the entire prohibition formation of the ancient world, causing a chain reaction. Many Chaos God Forbiddens came to attack collectively, and terrifying waves circulated. The power of strangulation. Countless rays of black light erupted, piercing through everything, and bombarded the world tree fiercely, instantly knocking back the branches of the world tree, and even attacked her body.
Boom.
The next second, the world tree quilt flew out. What's wrong? A group of Wood Clan elders looked at each other. They didn't know what happened. The being they were communicating with seemed to have encountered some kind of attack. Damn Furukawa, for being so insidious. He arranged a forbidden formation here to prevent me from entering. But not long after, the voice rang again. Although she had just suffered a horrific attack, which made her look disgraced, she still had no serious problems. It's a pity. It seems that there is no way to go into the prehistoric world to see. Hey, it's strange. Why did you all fall down? The voice finally noticed this group of Wood Clan elders at this moment. These Wood Clan elders were speechless, and they didn't know what to say at all. Because they knew what was happening at this moment, and this terrifying existence had nothing to do with them. Malice, the other party's mere existence, and breathing are enough to threaten their lives. If they are really malicious, they will die instantly and have no qualifications to talk to such a being. But thinking of this, these trees, the clan elders, were even more horrified. They originally thought that they should be one of the strongest beings in the prehistoric world, and nothing could compare with them. But now a being appeared randomly and just glanced at them. It causes their souls to shatter, and the aura emanating from them alone is enough to shatter their bodies. Is this the ancestor of all trees, the god of all plant life? Their faces are extremely solemn. It turns out that your bodies are too weak to bear even a breath of my breath. Not long after, the voice finally discovered what was going on. The power in his body was too strong. Even the aura he exuded inadvertently was enough to seriously injure a quasi-sage. And if the outside creatures are promoted to the realm of saints in the prehistoric world, they will be automatically excluded from the prehistoric world. Only the outside creatures below the saints can survive in the prehistoric world. Of course, this also has a time limit. Once the prehistoric world, after 9 local saints are born in the world, these restrictions will be lifted. This is equivalent to the novice protection period and cannot last forever. But in this battle, countless lives were lost. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. He sensed that this war secretly promoted by Hongjun, Luohu, Yangmei Daxian, and other chaotic demon gods had killed countless lives. Not only the members of the 5 major races died, but also the prehistoric world, countless weak races also perished, and even a large number of monsters died miserably on this land. But after the death of these powerful beings, their souls turned into undead, merging with the resentment and evil spirits everywhere in the air, slowly gave birth to terrifying evil ghosts. These evil ghosts have nowhere to go, and they like to devour the life of living beings. They are even more powerful than before, but they have lost all wisdom and reason and have become the bastards of the prehistoric world. A great scourge. Many ancient creatures were killed or devoured by evil spirits. They caused even more killings than wild beasts. And because they are spirits, they are invisible, soundless, and colorless. Compared with wild beasts, they are invisible and colorless. The beasts are even more terrifying. The places where evil spirits gather have turned into boundless ghosts and monsters. In fact, before there was no order in hell, these ghosts were wandering around in the ancient land. Only after the earth turned into reincarnation, these ghosts and monsters had a place to go. Is there a need to build a hell to contain these evil spirits? Furukawa touched his chin. He thought of the world-famous 18 levels of hell and the 6 reincarnations in later generations. This is the underworld, which contains countless undead. It is the existence of the underworld that prevents so many people from appearing in the mortal world. Demons and monsters. In fact, such scenes do not only appear in the prehistoric world. The situation of evil spirits appearing in other worlds is even more serious. They are everywhere. After all, other worlds are places where countless races of chaos compete for hegemony, and the wars are endless. Frequently, no one knows how many lives are lost in battle every moment. These powerful beings turn into undead and evil ghosts after death. Those evil ghosts have nowhere to go after death and can only wander around the earth, causing endless killings. Many races, it is often necessary to send warriors from one's own clan to exterminate these evil spirits, lest they become a catastrophe. Forget it, don't worry about this for now. The most important thing now is to study this fishing line. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. He remembered the mysterious fishing line he had obtained from the Void Fisherman before. It was a special material that could travel through the infinite universe and penetrate chaos. If he could study it clearly, he would definitely be of great benefit.
Whoosh.
Thinking of this, he was no longer interested in staying in the prehistoric world. He flashed and quickly returned to the central dojo of Chaos City to study this fishing line. Time keeps moving forward. The war in the prehistoric world is getting more and more intense, and the power of the immeasurable catastrophe has almost reached its peak. At this moment, the heads of the 5 major races, Xuanwu tribe, Phoenix tribe, Dragon tribe, White Tiger tribe, and Wood tribe, as well as many elders, as well as a large number of chaos demon gods, collectively attacked this place. They implemented a beheading tactic to destroy the leader of the demonic path, Demon Ancestor Rahu. As long as the Demon Ancestor Rahu is killed, the crisis of the 5 major clans will be solved. This battle was a devastating one and lasted for tens of thousands of years. Although the demon ancestor Luohu was very powerful, it was ultimately outnumbered and was killed by Hongjun, great immortal Yangmei, and the clan leaders of the 5 major races. However, the 5 major races also suffered heavy losses. Almost 90% of the elders died, and all the clan leaders were seriously injured. But no matter what, they still achieved success in the end. After the demon ancestor Luohu was gone, the remaining demons were simply a piece of loose sand. They were easily strangled by the 5 major races, and they were all driven back into the Netherworld and Blood Sea. At the same time, they also sealed the void passage from the Netherworld Blood Sea to the prehistoric world, suppressing them forever. After all this was over, Hongjun, Yangmei Immortal, and other chaos demon gods finally received rewards from the ancient world, and wisps of Hongmeng purple chi descended, and they survived this catastrophe. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 310. Rumble. I don't know how long time has passed. Suddenly, the purple energy of the ancient world is 30,000 miles away. Flowers are falling from the sky, gongs and drums are beating, and countless visions of heaven and earth are born at this moment. I have finally found the way. At this moment, a voice came out, which seemed to vibrate continuously, forming the sound of heaven. The speaker was an old Taoist. He was Hongjun. At this moment, after he obtained Hongmeng Purple Chi, he was finally promoted to the rank of Saint, Realm, and also mastered 9 great laws at once. Even among many gods, this kind of talent is excellent, because most of the chaos demon gods who were promoted to the realm of saints only mastered 1 great law, or 2 or 3 great laws. That's all. The saints who have mastered the laws of the 9 avenues and are promoted can be considered elites. At this moment, Hongjun was extremely excited. He had planned for such a long time and spent countless efforts, but he finally succeeded in attaining enlightenment. All the efforts he had made before were worth it. And he is indeed qualified to be proud. Because there are hundreds of chaos demon gods who came into the prehistoric world, but only he and great immortal Yang may obtain the Hongmeng Purple Chi. The other chaos demon gods are either dead or disabled, and have no power at all. Harvest. This is what 1 general accomplishes, and 10,000 bones wither. Well, are you leaving the prehistoric world? At this time, Hongjun sensed a message from the will of heaven in the prehistoric world, as if to exclude him from the prehistoric world. This world temporarily does not allow enlightened creatures from the outside world to come in. Before, he was only a quasi-sage, so he did not encounter. He was repulsed by the prehistoric world, but it was different now. He could fully feel the powerful repelling power of the laws of heaven and earth. Although he could stay where he was for the time being, he could only stay in the prehistoric world for 3 days at most. However, Hongjun didn't feel any pity. After all, his biggest goal of entering the prehistoric world this time was accomplished. Even leaving the prehistoric world was nothing. By the way, before leaving, you have to say hello to the clan leaders. Hongjun thought of the chiefs of the 5 major clans, the Dragon Clan, the Phoenix Clan, the Xuanwu Clan, the Wood Clan, and the White Tiger Clan. After all, they are all comrades who have fought together, and they can be considered lifelong friendships. How can they leave without saying hello? A little unkind. 1 day later, he arrived at the Dragon Clan headquarters. At this moment, the Dragon Clan, Phoenix Clan, Xuanwu Clan, Wood Clan, White Tiger Clan chiefs, and some elders also appeared here, and even the great Immortal Yang Mei also appeared here. The great Immortal Yang Mei apparently also swallowed the Hongmeng purple qi and finally attained enlightenment. In fact, it was not just Hongjun and great Immortal Yang Mei, but also the heads of the 5 major clans of the Phoenix Clan, the Xuanwu Clan, the Wood Clan, the White Tiger Clan, and the Dragon Clan. After receiving a ray of Hongmeng purple qi, he was suddenly promoted to the realm of saints. However, the patriarchs of the 5 major races only mastered the promotion of Taoism is far, far behind the strength of the 2 chaos demon gods, Yang Mei Immortal and Hongjun. Are you sure? Do you want to leave the prehistoric world with us? Hongjun now knows the purpose of these clan leaders and elders. The purpose is to follow them to leave the ancient world and go to the heavens and the world. Naturally, staying in the primitive world no longer makes any sense to us. Yes, the so-called prehistoric world is just a cage, and we are all frogs in a well. Only by leaving the primitive world can we have the possibility to go further, otherwise we are just ants. The patriarchs of the 5 major races said solemnly. If they had not seen the forbidden existence before World Tree took action, and after being promoted to saints, they might still be arrogant and arrogant. But after seeing that scene, they knew what they were. How insignificant. How worthless. Even if they are enlightened now, they are still terribly weak in the face of such existence. It is estimated that they can be easily suppressed to death with one hand. If they do not leave the prehistoric world to find ways to become stronger if given the chance, they will remain ants for the rest of their lives. Well, if you stay in the prehistoric world, then you will still be the supreme emperor and control everything. But after leaving the prehistoric world and coming to the world, your strength will not be worth mentioning. If you are not careful, you may die. Knowing this, do you still insist on leaving? Hongjun asked. And if you leave, what will your people do? Without your protection, it would be difficult for them to survive in the wild world. We are ready. The leader of the Dragon Clan said solemnly. The 5 major races have arranged a secluded place. After we leave, they will withdraw from the struggle for hegemony in the ancient world and rest peacefully. To be honest, even if the 5 major races want to fight for hegemony in the ancient world, it is impossible. Because this catastrophe has simply exhausted the wealth of the 5 major races, causing heavy casualties. Basically, more than 99% of the elites have died. Think about it. I don't know how many epochs it will take to restore my vitality. Without the same strength as before, just facing the endless wild beasts in the prehistoric world would be enough. Maybe one tide of beasts would wipe them all out. Even those there are also extremely terrifying beings among wild beasts, comparable to saints after attaining enlightenment. Okay, then I understand, but after leaving this time, it will probably be extremely difficult for you to come back. Hongjun said in a deep voice. We also know this. The patriarchs of the 5 major races all nodded. They had made up their minds a long time ago. In fact, they also knew a huge secret before they made such a determination. That is, after the 9 saints appear in the prehistoric world, life from the outside world can enter the prehistoric world. The struggle for world hegemony. This period of time is the protection period of the prehistoric world. Now 5 local saints have been born in the prehistoric world. Once this period has passed, countless chaotic demon gods from the outside world can enter the prehistoric world, Tyrant. It is conceivable that if the 5 major races continue to live in confusion in the primitive world, they will all be finished once the protection period expires. After all, how could they withstand the siege of countless races from all over the world? To solve this problem, they can only leave the prehistoric world in person and find a way to make the race stronger. Only in this way can the race continue to survive in the future era of great strife. Okay, let's go then, Hongjun said in a deep voice. With a wave of his hand, he immediately put the heads of the 5 major races and many elders who wanted to leave into his space magic weapon. Then he let go of the limitations of his own strength.
Wow.
In an instant, the laws of heaven and earth in the prehistoric world immediately excluded Hongjun and great immortal Yangmei, and they disappeared from this world in an instant. On the other hand, deep inside the netherworld blood sea, at this moment, a wisp of demonic energy gathered together again and suddenly transformed into the figure of Rahu. However, he was extremely weak at this moment, as if he was like a candle in the wind and could be extinguished and died at any time. Damn Hongjun, damn Yangmei Immortal, you two wait for me. This hatred is irreconcilable, and I, Luohu, will definitely retaliate in the future. Luo, who was full of murderous intent. He was still frightened. Fortunately, he had exchanged a method of immortal soul division from the Chaos Library before, leaving one of his soul seeds in the netherworld blood sea. In this way, even if the main body was killed, he could still survive. Resurrected. So when he was besieged by Hongjun and Luo who and almost certain to die, Luo who still escaped and was reborn in the sea of blood in the netherworld. However, he was indeed seriously injured this time, and it would take a long time to recover. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 311. Hundreds of years passed in the blink of an eye. At this moment, the central dojo of Chaos City. I see. Furukawa's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. There was a fishing line from the world outside the door floating in the air, bursting out with bursts of white light and filled with a mysterious atmosphere. After millions of years of deduction, he finally understood the purpose of this fishing line. Some secrets. There is no doubt that the level of this fishing line has surpassed the Chaos Treasure and reached another level, but he doesn't know what the name of the magic weapon at that level is. But no matter what the name of the magic weapon at that level is, the most important thing is the secret of this fishing line. First of all, it has the 2 most important characteristics. One is compatibility. No matter what the law of the Great Road is, no matter what special space it is, this fishing line can easily penetrate it. No force or force of the laws of the universe can withstand it. When it merges into another universe, this fishing line is like falling into water, treating all the laws of the universe as running water, which is extremely mysterious. It is also because of this characteristic, this fishing line can fish all over the world, easily integrate into countless universes, and not worry about being excluded by other laws of the universe. The second characteristic is tenacity. This fishing line is extremely tough, surpassing the treasure of chaos. The level is almost indestructible. If he had not tried his best at that time, he would not have been able to cut off the fishing line. Moreover, he believed that this fishing line may not be the best fishing line for the void angler, and it may be considered a first-class fish. If it is a top fishing line, he may not be able to cut it off. The third characteristic is infinite extension. It seems to have super stretchability. As long as it is infused with the energy of the source of chaos, it can be extended infinitely, which is incredible. In addition, he also used the Chaos Bagua technique to deduce that the Void Angler had a fishing rod on him. This fishing rod must also be a magic weapon that surpasses the treasure of chaos and contains the avenue of cause and effect, so he fishes in the heavens. Find the destined target and catch everything in the universe. But this is just his speculation. But no matter what, this fishing line must be the treasure of the world outside the door and is extremely precious. By the way, if you use the power of this fishing line, you might be able to leave the chaotic world without passing through the gate of eternal life. Furukawa squinted his eyes, and thought of such a possibility. After all, this fishing line can blend into countless universes and easily penetrate into each universe, so naturally it can also easily leave this universe. But just a fishing line can't carry his true body. Just like the Void Fisherman, why doesn't the other party arrive in each universe in person to find treasures, but instead fishes for the treasures in each universe through fishing lines? It is probably because the other party is too powerful, was rejected by the origin of the universe, just like the Nar, and can only enter through the door of eternal life. But if it is just a fishing line, the target is too small, so it will not cause the origin of the universe to deliberately target it. Can easily sneak into each universe. The same reason. If he wants to use the power of this fishing line to leave the chaotic world, it will be impossible to leave the real body. Only by using clones and minimizing his own power can he leave the chaos quietly. World. A clone? Furukawa touched his chin. In fact, he is also very familiar with the art of clone. After all, he has a bloodline magical power, Blood Sea Clone. Every drop of blood can split into a primitive ancient snake. But so far, there is nothing. Existence can force him to use the bloodline magical power of Bleeding Sea Clone, so he has never used this bloodline magical power. And it doesn't matter even if the clone is weak. Because the most important thing for him now is to explore the world outside the door. Knowing the intelligence of the world outside the door so that he can respond accordingly in the future. He can even find ways to deal with the doomsday in the world outside the door. If it is just a clone, there is no need for this long fishing line. Only a small length is enough. With a thought, Furukawa immediately cut the long fishing line into countless sections so that countless clones can be condensed. Even if this clone leaves the chaotic world and encounters any danger and dies, it can still condense other clones to explore the door. This will increase the success rate of exploring the world outside the door.
Wow.
Thinking of this, he instantly forced a drop of blood out of his body and instantly transformed into a small original ancient snake clone. There is a ray of soul energy in his body that can communicate with the main body. At the same time, he formed seals with his hands and blasted out a series of Chaos Divine Forbidden Spirits. He integrated the power of these Chaos Divine Forbidden Spirits into this clone, making the fishing line and the clone merge together.
Boom tilde tilde.
Suddenly, the clone of this primitive ancient snake and the power of the fishing line merged together. It actually had the same power characteristics as the fishing line, and the entire body became virtual. Incredible. Furukawa was immediately amazed. Through his clone of the original ancient snake, he felt that the entire universe seemed to have undergone earth-shaking changes. All the voids in the universe turned into ripples, as if the entire chaotic world was an endless ocean. Everywhere chaos liquid is surging. If he is willing, this clone can leave this chaotic world like the sea at any time. He also knows why these fishing lines can fish all over the sky. He indeed has incredible power.
Characteristic.
No, we can't leave now. Furukawa knows that even if this clone can leave the world of chaos, it can't leave now. After all, the world outside the door is too dangerous. First of all, the Nars are lying near the door of eternal life, waiting for the door of eternal life to open at any time to gnaw the entire universe. Secondly, even if you escape the attack of the Eaters, the world outside the door must be extremely dangerous, and there must be many existences that can be compared with the Eaters. If you don't have a certain degree of defense, you probably won't be able to escape. No matter how far you go, you will be killed. Well, add the Great Causation technique to this clone to reflect all the enemy's attacks. Add the Great Chaos technique to blend into the Chaos Barrier and turn all attacks into nothingness. Add the Great Devouring technique to devour infinite source energy. Furukawa formed seals with his hands and added various magical powers to this primitive ancient snake clone. He simply armed this clone to the teeth, like a tank which can avoid countless injuries. By the way, a supreme magical power of virtual reality must be added so that the clone can change back and forth between reality and virtual reality. Furukawa's eyes flashed. To be honest, the virtual reality technique is his most powerful magical technique at present. With this technique, the body can be instantly dematerialized and immune to all attacks. The original Eater attacking outside the gate of eternal life, this power is enough to kill many gods, but it is immune to his virtualization technique. One can imagine how powerful this technique is. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 312. However, once this technique of virtualization is used, it is equivalent to turning Furukawa into a virtual character. Although he has received super defense and is immune to any force, he is also unable to attack any enemy. But that doesn't matter. Anyway, according to his current strength in the world outside the door, he is probably just a little shrimp. Even if he wants to attack the enemy, he will not cause any harm to the enemy. The most important thing is that he left the chaotic world this time just to gather information, not to fight. So it is correct to have the strongest defense. By the way, the world outside the door must be extremely far away, many times larger than the world of chaos. In this case, extreme speed may be required to travel quickly. Then add a big space-time technique and give birth to a pair of space-time wings. Furukawa formed a seal with his hands, adding a magic technique to his original ancient snake clone. Hundreds of years passed in the blink of an eye. At this moment, the original ancient snake clone that took Furukawa countless thoughts was finally successfully refined, and he turned into a human form, exactly like Furukawa's real body. At the same time, his body is covered with dense magical powers and countless chaos restrictions, making him look like a hedgehog. If the enemy's power attacks his body, he will be instantly counterattacked by this power and killed to pieces. Moreover, there is a special mental connection between the clone and the main body. No matter how far apart they are, they can sense each other. Even if the clone dies, all the memories will be transmitted back. Okay, it's time to take action. Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light. He had been preparing for thousands of years, and he could finally start his plan to leave the world of chaos and explore the world outside. In an instant, the clone of the original ancient snake started to move, and his body a state of virtualization was created, and the original laws of the surrounding universe seemed to turn into liquid. In the next second, in Furukawa's eyes, the entire chaotic world turned into an endless sea, and no restrictions, no laws, and no substances could stop it. He moved forward. Whoosh! Not long after, Furukawa swam toward the boundless ocean. He didn't know how long he swam. He jumped out of thin air as if he had jumped out of the water. Immediately, Furukawa immediately felt that he had left the world of chaos and came to the world outside of chaos. He suddenly saw his surroundings and found that the world outside the door was void and seemed to be chaos. Beyond chaos, there was still chaos. Good wait. Furukawa immediately felt the wisps of chaos in the world outside the door. It was billions of times heavier than the world inside the door. Even a saint who mastered the laws of the 9 avenues could not bear such a chaotic atmosphere. The endless chaos aura crushed him. The pressure is enough to crush the saint's body into pieces. Needless to say, the creatures below will be instantly destroyed by the chaotic airflow here and turned into ashes. Is this the universe? The fluctuations of his soul spread out and suddenly covered part of the chaotic world. He immediately discovered that the chaotic world existed in this space like an eggshell. The entire universe was wrapped in endless chaotic airflow, containing countless chaos laws, densely packed, seem to form an absolute cosmic barrier. Even if he tries his best, he may not be able to damage this cosmic barrier at all. It is precisely because of these thick layers of cosmic barriers that it isolates the creatures outside the door from entering the universe and protects the safety of the creatures inside the door. Interesting. Is the universe growing too? Furukawa's eyes flashed, and he soon discovered that the entire universe was also breathing slowly, containing a unique rhythm, and was absorbing void energy from all directions. As time went by, the entire universe seemed to be slowly expanding, obviously. The area of the universe is not fixed, but is in the process of constant expansion. Every time it expands, it will expand by trillions of light years. It's no wonder that so far, the end of the universe cannot be found. Because the universe is expanding and growing every moment, and the growth rate is far beyond the imagination of ordinary creatures. Moreover, the entire universe seems to be devouring the willpower of all living beings, and the endless willpower is attached to the barrier of the universe, forming a powerful, there are thick barriers that no creature can break. The stronger these wishes are, the faster and stronger the universe will grow. It can be said that all things in the door are closely related to the universe, and the greater the number of creatures in the door, the more powerful it is, the more powerful the universe will be. Wait, is that the Nar? In an instant, Furukawa immediately sensed an extremely dangerous aura. He turned around and took a look. Suddenly, he saw a terrifying giant beast suddenly appearing in another part of the chaotic world. The terrifying giant beast, the size is so big that even Furukawa's original ancient snake body cannot compare with the size of this giant beast. And his original ancient snake body is simply as small as in front of this creature. As big as an ant. Not to mention that Furukawa is now in human form, and his figure has shrunk many times. It is estimated that Furukawa in human form is not even as good as dust in front of this terrifying beast. Too strong. Although he was watching from a long distance, Furukawa could still sense the energy emanating from this terrifying giant beast. It was simply vast and boundless. The energy emanating from this giant beast alone exceeded a universe. The chaotic energy, just the breath emanating from its body, can form an eternal chaotic storm, destroying everything, destroying the heaven and the earth. What is even more frightening is that this terrifying beast seems to be filled with dense doomsday. It seems as if it is a doomsday aggregation, a gathering of many universes. Just a wisp of breath on its body can shatter the boundless chaos. With Furukawa's current power, he is not the enemy of this terrifying beast at all. It is estimated that if the opponent takes a breath, he can be completely killed and shaken to powder. Is this the Nar? Furukawa was shocked. Although he had guessed countless times what kind of terrifying existence the so-called Nars were, but now that he saw it with his own eyes, he was stimulated like never before. Fortunately, there was the gate of eternal life to stop this terrifying beast last time. Entering the universe. Otherwise, all life in the universe will be easily eaten up by this giant beast, leaving no trace behind. And such a terrifying creature is actually standing in front of the door of eternal life, clearly waiting. The next time the door to eternal life is opened. It is estimated that if the door to eternal life is really open next time, then the universe will definitely be destroyed next time. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 313. Doomsday actually has so much power? Furukawa was amazed. He could feel that the Nar's body was covered with dense, white light spots. Each light spot represented a kind of doomsday power and contained a destructive atmosphere. These light spots were just what he perceived. There are more than hundreds of millions of species. You must know that the chaotic world has only entered 9 apocalypses, which has almost caused the destruction of all living things in the entire chaotic world, completely changing the ecology of the chaotic world. If hundreds of millions of doomsday swarm in, if he enters the world of chaos, it will be enough to completely destroy and shatter the world of chaos in an instant. Even he can't resist it. And this is just the power of doomsday attached to the Nar. If it is its own power, it is probably more powerful than the power of doomsday. I don't know how scary it is. Is Doom merely a minion of the Nar? Furukawa was extremely shocked. He still underestimated the terror of the Nar. He estimated that even if the opponent is an outsider, he is also an extremely powerful outsider, beyond imagination. Oops. Just when Furukawa wanted to take a closer look at the Nar, he suddenly felt a fatal crisis, as if he had glimpsed the long river of time and space in the future. At some point later, he alerted the Nar, and was killed by the sneeze was enough to kill him and turn him into ashes. Even the many magical powers and spells on his body had no effect and turned into powder. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Furukawa instantly dematerialized his body, turned invisible, and suddenly merged into it. In this void, the aura on my body disappeared. The terrifying behemoth Nar looked up and seemed a little confused, as if it sensed something, but it couldn't sense anything, so it thought it was an illusion. With a snap, it continued to lie in front of the door of eternal life, sleeping soundly. Stand up. Fortunately, he acted quickly, otherwise this clone would have been almost dead. Furukawa took a deep breath and was overjoyed. Although he was like dust to the Nars, even worse than dust, but as a being of this level, any malicious intent would be sensed. If he had dared just now, if you get close to a Nar, you may be besieged and killed by countless doomsday energy on the Eater in an instant. This is not an active attack by the Nar, it is just its defensive instinct. It seems that before you have enough strength, you can't get close to this Nar at will. Furukawa's eyes flashed. He didn't plan to disturb the Eater anymore, lest he really awaken this terrifying existence and caused an unpredictable disaster. But where should I go? At this time, he was a little confused, because he was not familiar with or understood the world outside the door at all, and he had no idea where to find what he needed. Moreover, the surroundings were chaotic, with no up, down, left, or right. If you walk in this chaotic place, you will definitely lose your way, and you may not even know where you are. By the way, the Wish Compass, I also have a Chaos Arcana Wish Compass with me. Furukawa suddenly remembered this secret treasure on his body. When he was still weak, it was this treasure that helped him find the Chaos Bead and many treasures, which made him rise rapidly. Since he has continued to grow stronger, this treasure, the magic weapon, fell into the treasure house and was rarely used. However, this magic weapon can play an incredible role at critical moments, finding a glimmer of hope in adversity and at the same time fulfilling all his wishes. But in such a dangerous door, when walking in the outside world, once the clone is killed, the Wish Compass may also be lost, which is also a risk that needs to be taken. It seems that we need to be cautious next. This clone must not die, otherwise the Wish Compass may be lost in the endless void world. Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light. Thinking of this, he did not hesitate and immediately returned to the chaotic world to get the Wish Compass. Wish Compass, help me find the place that knows everything. After getting the Wish Compass, Furukawa's thoughts moved.
Wow.
In an instant, the endless power of his blood and essence was poured into the Wish Compass, and the majestic and vast energy surged in, making the Wish Compass ability to be maximized. Suddenly, the pointer of the Wish Compass rotated crazily, as if it sensed the infinite trajectory of destiny, communicated with the endless power of destiny, and found the best route. After a few breaths, the crazy rotating pointer finally stopped, pointing in one of the directions. At the same time, a huge amount of route information suddenly poured into the depths of Furukawa's consciousness. It actually consumed 1/10 of my blood essence. Furukawa was very surprised. To be honest, after he was promoted to Hongmeng Sage and mastered 2,000 great laws, the original ancient snake body did not know how powerful it was. The essence and blood in his body was even more vast, and even a drop of blood, they are all like planets, and the power of blood is incredibly strong, but now it actually consumes a full 10th of the blood essence. One can imagine how much energy he has consumed in order to find this place. Unless he has been promoted to the realm of Hongmeng Saint, he might not be able to find this place with the Wish Compass. But no matter what, the efforts are worth it. As long as he finds that place, he will be able to know endless information about the world outside the door. This is important for the future development, will have huge benefits.
Whoosh.
Thinking of this, Furukawa did not hesitate. With a flash of his body, his clone came out again silently. Of course, during this process he naturally avoided the nibblers and was not discovered by the nibblers. There are creatures leaving the chaotic world, otherwise it will definitely cause huge trouble. By the way, it should be this direction. Furukawa's clone held the Wish Compass in his hand, looked at one of the directions pointed by the Wish Compass, and immediately flew over. Immediately, time and space wings appeared on his back, and he immediately spread his wings and flew high. The surroundings were filled with the power of the time and space avenue, and he suddenly, with a terrifying propulsion force, he flew hundreds of millions of light years away with a single vibration of his wings. At the same time, he was in a state of virtualization, as if he were a body of nothingness, and the surrounding chaotic airflow could not cause any hindrance to him. As if in a vacuum state. Coupled with the speed of his space-time wings, the two are superimposed, and one can imagine Furukawa's speed at this moment. In just a moment, Furukawa's space-time wings vibrated slightly, crossing countless light years. In the blink of an eye, the chaotic world disappeared in front of his eyes. Fortunately, Furukawa's body and clone are causally and mentally connected, and they can be sensed no matter how far apart they are. Otherwise, the connection will be cut off in an instant, and they will no longer be able to communicate.
Superior.
The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 314. In the blink of an eye, Furukawa has been flying in this empty space for tens of thousands of years. You have to know how fast he is. He can cross a distance of hundreds of millions of light years in an instant, but even after flying like this for thousands of years, he still found nothing. There is nothingness all around, filled with chaotic air. Not to mention what kind of treasure it was. He couldn't find one even in other universes, as if there was only one chaotic universe in the surrounding area. Coming. Furukawa's eyes flashed. If it were an ordinary chaos demon god flying aimlessly like this, he would have gone crazy and worried that he was going in the wrong direction. But he has a wish compass to guide him and knows his destination and distance.
So,
he was not worried about this at all. He was still flying fast without slowing down at all. Moreover, practicing in this void space, the energy gained from the swallowed chaotic airflow was more than tens of thousands of times that in the chaotic universe, and the quality was higher. There are too many. Although they are all chaotic airflows, there are also differences between lower and higher levels. It is obvious that the chaotic breath in the universe is low-level chaotic breath, while in the void space is high-level chaotic breath. Both in weight and energy, it far exceeds the primary chaotic breath. Are there enemies? At this moment, Furukawa seemed to sense waves of strange auras in front of him, as if they were colliding with each other and engaging in fierce fighting, and many magical powers were bombarding them crazily. But he was not surprised but happy because there were enough. He has not seen any life for 10,000 years, and now he actually sees other life. What a luxury this is in this void space. And this may be the first time he has seen chaos in tens of thousands of years. Intelligent life outside the world is of great significance, and he may be able to get some information from the other party. Of course, he is also extremely cautious, not knowing whether the other party is an enemy or a friend, and what his strength is. If he has bad intentions and is strong, then it may his clone would be destroyed. So he wanted to sneak over and see what happened. But before Furukawa could take action, the auras in the distance seemed to sense something, and they immediately surrounded Furukawa at a fast speed. To an incredible extent. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, 5 or 6 figures suddenly appeared in front of Furukawa. They all had different appearances. 3 of them were minotaurs, and they had a cow's head with an extremely strong body, but the body is human with hands and feet, holding a black giant axe. A terrible evil aura emanates from them, sweeping through the chaos. The other 3 are rock giants. Their entire bodies are made of rock, covered with dense chaos runes, and engraved with countless magical powers. Their bodies are filled with unparalleled power, and every move contains tremendous power, and their defense is also extremely powerful and can withstand many magical powers. Moreover, the strength of these 6 powerful men has at least reached the level of Kaition Saint, mastering 108 great laws, and the 2 strongest ones have reached the level of Hongmeng Saint, the realm of mastering the laws of 1,800 avenues. Sure enough, the Nar can be considered a strong person even in the world outside of chaos. When Furukawa saw the appearance of these 6 strong men, he immediately felt relieved. At least he was not encountering strong men like the Eaters, and he still had a chance to survive. Who are you, and what do you want to do? Furukawa squinted his eyes and looked at these creatures. He could sense the evil intentions of these creatures. Jie, you dare to walk alone in the chaos. You really don't know whether to live or die. This kid is probably Hina, who has left his own universe for the first time. He has no idea of the horrors outside of chaos. This can be regarded as our good luck to meet such a newbie. We deserve to be rich. Judging from the appearance of this kid, he must have a lot of treasures on his body. I can sense that this kid may have secret treasures from the universe. Now we have discovered. No way, a secret treasure from the universe? It seems that today is the day for us to make a fortune. It is said that many hosts who hold this glove cannot withstand the surge of power and are thus killed by this power. He was stretched to death, his whole body was torn apart, and even his soul was shattered. But the most perverted thing is the third ability, which can actually transfer the skyrocketing power. This is simply a side effect of weakening the first ability to the greatest extent. If there are enough with the help of more people, I am afraid that they can collectively increase their strength and create a terrifying combat power at the Legion level. Of course, according to the characteristics of the God of War's gloves, no matter how many people there are, they cannot sustain it for too long. As long as the past 3 minutes have passed, the increase in I don't know how terrifying the power will be. It can be said that the time to use this glove must be very short, more like Ultraman Tiga, a 3-minute superhero who can destroy all monsters. But if it is critical if used at all times, it will definitely cause terrifying effects, kill many enemies, and become invincible. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 318. It is indeed a secret treasure of the universe. Furukawa was amazed. To be honest, his ability was just perfect to restrain the God of War gloves. He was able to easily immunize himself from the opponent's attacks, and thus avoided the attack of the rock giant. If it had been anyone else, he would probably have been beaten by the rock giant. Punched to death, no wonder these guys dare to walk in the chaos. They also have their own support. Because these God of War gloves continue to strengthen over time, this ability is really too heaven-defying. No, there should be 2 gloves. This is just one of them. Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light. His all-knowing eye could deduce that there is a second glove, which is actually a pair of this left glove.
Wow.
In an instant, another message came from his sea of consciousness. Welled up from the depths. The secret treasure of the universe, the God of War's glove, the right-hand glove, is currently missing. It is together with the left-hand glove. The two were born as one, but since they were conceived, they were jealous of the universe and have been separated and never come together. Moreover, the host holding the right-hand glove and the host holding the left-hand glove will definitely have a battle in the future. Only the winner can get the complete God of War glove and be invincible. Ability 1 Have. Within the scope of this glove, the enemy's strength can be halved every second until the enemy's attack is reduced to infinitely close to 0. Ability 2 Absorption. The right-hand glove can completely swallow and absorb the enemy's weakened strength and take it as his own. However, the body needs to withstand it, otherwise it will definitely collapse and die. Ability 3 Rebound can bounce all the enemy's attacks away and retaliate in the same way. After sensing this information, Furukawa was extremely shocked. He never expected that the right-hand glove was equally terrifying and could easily weaken the enemy's strength. If he had the right-hand glove, wouldn't it be possible to inflict damage on the enemy? The power of the enemy has been weakened to 0, almost nothing. With this ability, you can become invincible. And you can also take the power of the weakened enemy as your own, which is really too powerful. No wonder these two only one glove is jealous of heaven and earth and has never been together. If 2 gloves are combined, one will infinitely enhance one's own strength, and the other infinitely weakens the enemy's strength. Then one is simply invincible. Holding these two, the person who wears the gloves can indeed be called the God of War. However, according to the information left behind by the gloves, we can know that there are countless hosts of the gloves of the God of War, and we don't know how many owners they have experienced. Among them, the left hand, the holder of the glove, and the holder of the right-hand glove occasionally meet. The two are natural enemies, and there will definitely be a fight. This is a fate of cause and effect. But because of the special abilities of these two gloves, causing the two hosts to basically die of exhaustion regardless of victory or defeat. Therefore, it is also called the Cursed Glove. Anyone who becomes the host of this god of war glove will definitely die in the future, and nothing good will happen. This is the fate of countless hosts. Indeed, the side effects of this glove are great. Furukawa's eyes flashed. The power of the god of war gloves is indeed extraordinary. As long as the body can withstand it, it can exert extraordinary power. But there is a limit to the physical strength of life. If you are constantly in this state of exceeding the limit, I am afraid that the body will collapse soon. This is how previous hosts actually died. They encountered more and more fierce battles, but their physical fitness could not keep up, and they were punched as a result. The strength of the glove is exhausted. And if you rely too much on the power given by the glove, you will ignore your own cultivation. Of course, no matter what, this is a secret treasure of the universe, and is of immeasurable value. Although it cannot be used often, it can be used in critical situations. If you use it all the time, it can still play an extraordinary role. Forget it. Put it away first. If you encounter the owner of the right-hand glove, you must snatch it away. To be honest, Furukawa also wanted to see what kind of effect it would have after the two gloves were brought together. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Furukawa took out the god of war gloves and all the space magic weapons on the six beings. He put it away, then flashed and set off towards the origin continent. He wanted to reach the origin continent as soon as possible and find more useful information. At this moment, in the chaotic world, among all the heavens and realms, at this moment, some changes occurred in the trillions of worlds. As the war progressed, countless powerful creatures died. After their death, they had nowhere to go, so they transformed into evil ghosts and wandered around the earth. In each world, there are literally hundreds of ghosts walking at night. All kinds of ghosts and monsters appear, and the ghosts are full of ghosts. Mere ghosts are nothing. Some powerful monks can kill these ghosts that harm the world and completely eliminate them. But in these worlds, more terrifying things have been born. Whoosh! In an instant, a dark ball of light appeared in one of the worlds. Xianxia, I finally came in. Although the Chaos City Lord arranged the Chaos Stars Zhou-Eon formation in an attempt to block the invasion of Doomsday, it could be blocked for a while, but it could not be blocked forever. There will always be a loophole, and this loophole was finally found by me, thus making it silent. Sneak into. And this dark ball of light is clearly a kind of doomsday. It exudes a strange, gloomy, and terrifying atmosphere, which makes people shudder. After countless epochs of trials, it has been looking for ways to invade the heavens and the world, but it has always failed. It kept failing, but now it finally succeeded. It is worthy of being the place where countless creatures live in all the worlds. What a wonderful dark power, what a strong aura of fear. Fear is everywhere, darkness is everywhere. This is the best place to breed the doomsday. And I will bring the deepest fear to all living beings and the most desperate doom. The dark ball of light smiled slyly, seeming to be extremely excited.
Crash.
The next second, the dark ball of light instantly turned into countless dark light spots, scattered throughout the world, and merged into the depths of the void. Whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, in all the worlds, the endless power of darkness, the power of death, the power of disaster, and the power of faith gathered together, thus giving birth to terrifying and strange things everywhere. A terrifying and strange place. It seems that the endless calamity of heaven and earth has been triggered at this moment. Rumble. In an instant, the endless calamity of heaven and earth sweeps across the heavens and all realms. At this moment, Furukawa, who was in the central dojo of Chaos City, was suddenly awakened. His eyes showed a terrifying light, as if he sensed something. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 319. What happened? Why do you feel the imminent calamity of infinite heaven and earth? Furukawa, who was sitting in the central dojo, temporarily broke off the contact with the clone. After all, the clone is rushing to the place of origin, and nothing will happen for the time being. His eyes showed a glimmer of light, and the chaos bagua technique in the depths of a sea of consciousness continued. Deductions, endless data are flowing, trying to see through the fog of fate and predict the future. However, the long river of fate is full of dark fog, blocking the prying eyes of fate, as if the power of doomsday has obscured the long river of fate, and any big, even those with supernatural powers, cannot peek into the future space and time. It seems like we need to see what's going on. Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light. He instantly sensed that the power of doomsday had invaded the heavens and the world, so he triggered the birth of immeasurable catastrophe.
Boom tilde tilde.
In an instant, his soul fluctuations covered the heavens in an instant 10,000 realms, entering countless worlds. Immediately, he sensed that countless great thousand worlds, middle thousand worlds, and small thousand worlds were filled with the terrifying aura of evil worship, darkness, curse, and killing. Although such aura it's very obscure, but it can't be hidden from his perception. Vaguely, the catastrophic energy of countless worlds gathers together, and it seems that there are endless catastrophes coming, as if the world is turned upside down, and the world is full of murderous intent. What's this? Furukawa's mind was immersed in a world where the situation was the most serious. He saw that the entire world was full of ghosts, demons and monsters were rampant, and the earth was full of evil spirits. If he hadn't witnessed it with his own eyes, he would have thought that this world was a hell. The reason for this happened because this vast world has become a battlefield for the gods. In order to snatch the Hongmeng purple chi, many races have fought fierce wars in this world. As you can imagine, the strong men who have fallen in this world there are too many. After death, these strong men were unwilling to give up, so they turned into evil ghosts and xiechong, wandering in this world. All beings born in this world are accompanied by evil ghosts and xiechong, and they will become evil at every turn. Being devoured by evil spirits, it was as if the world had turned into a world of evil spirits. The whole world was filled with the smell of fear, death, despair, and blood at this moment. But what surprised Furukawa the most was not the birth of these evil ghosts and evil spirits. It's a more terrifying evil thing. It's called grotesque. What is grotesque? Literally, it means incredible legends. In fact, wherever life appears, all kinds of grotesques will appear. Produced all kinds of incredible legends. These are rumors. However, due to the specious evidence, these rumors have been known to countless lives, and over time, they have become well-known weirdness. Originally, these were just ordinary rumors, and they would not what happened. But after the invasion of doomsday forces, coupled with the brewing of endless negative emotions and the accumulation of negative energy, the situation changed drastically, producing an incredible chemical reaction. These horrific weirdnesses gradually turned into reality, transformed from illusion into reality, as if the characters in the legend have become real existences. Now there's trouble. Furukawa squinted his eyes, with a solemn expression on his face. The reason why he showed such a solemn expression is because these monstrosities are many times more terrifying than evil spirits. First of all, the strength of these grotesques comes from life. Their fear, the more fearful a life is, the more powerful and destructive the monsters will be. If countless lives are extremely afraid of this monster, then the strength of this monster will surpass the chaos demon god and reach the point where it cannot compete. Secondly, these grotesques have the characteristics of immortality, because they come from the fear of all living beings and are born from the emotions of all living beings. Even if they are killed, as long as a living being knows their existence, they will be resurrected again. So they are immortal existences. No matter how many times you kill, you will be resurrected. In fact, the source of this disaster is not just the invasion of doomsday forces, but also from the gods themselves. The source of the weird power actually comes from the beliefs of the gods. Faith is poisonous. Furukawa couldn't help but clenched his fists. He thought of this. The world is fair and balanced. If there is yin, there must be yang. If there are gods, there must be demons. The gods practice by absorbing the power of faith from all living beings. It is naturally a good thing to quickly enhance one's strength and thereby speed up one's own practice. But there is nothing so cheap in the world, because the beliefs of all living beings have distracting thoughts, and they are endless distracting thoughts. At the same time, it not only has beautiful emotions, there are also negative and fearful emotions. The power of these negative and fearful emotions is poisonous to the gods. Therefore, all gods will repel these poisons of faith, but repelling them does not mean they disappear. It still exists in all the worlds. Although these poisons of faith did not cause any harm at first, it is because the accumulated quantity is not enough, and quantitative changes will lead to qualitative changes. Even if there is no invasion of doomsday forces, the poison of faith will still cause infinite tribulations. And now, due to the invasion of the mysterious doomsday power, this process has been accelerated. It is like a volcano constantly accumulating molten energy and finally erupted at this moment. The endless world has undergone earth-shaking changes at this moment. Weird, evil ghosts are constantly being born. The world is becoming spooky, scary, and complicated. It is actually difficult to believe in a god. It requires divine persuasion, orderly order, and a complete set of rituals. But that may not give birth to a loyal believer. Therefore, it is extremely difficult for gods to harvest faith, and it takes many years. But harvesting fear is different. It is too easy to get the emotion of fear, killing, blood, terror, disasters, and so on will make countless creatures feel fear. Moreover, fear is chain-like and continues to spread. Once it breaks out, it is almost unstoppable. Countless fear seeds will be integrated into the depths of the souls of creatures and can no longer be eradicated. Because of this, monstrosities are born in various worlds, and killing and fear are also spreading. Faith can become a god. In the same way, fear can also become a god. The power of fear of all living beings will also give birth to grotesque gods. How many are there in the world? If you respect the gods, how many evil gods will appear? An endless catastrophe sweeping through all the heavens and worlds is coming at this moment. After this catastrophe, no one knows how many gods will fall. It seems that we have to go to all the worlds to investigate the birth principles of these weird things. Furukawa squinted his eyes. He could sense that this mysterious doomsday that suddenly appeared was definitely more weird, terrifying, and difficult to deal with than the doomsday he had encountered before. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 320. The Big World of Quicksand. A huge city. This is the city of the Bloodwolf clan. Originally, this city was extremely huge, extremely lively, and brightly lit, but recently at night, every house was closed, and the entire city was tightly closed. No Bloodwolf dared to go out. It seemed that the city turned into a dead city at night, with no one alive walking on the streets, and even the soldiers guarding the city had withdrawn. At this moment in a family, Wolf 13, what's going on? The sun has just gone down, and the doors are closed. Every household has even turned off the lights to take a rest, and all the shops are closed. Isn't this your custom? The speaker was Hulu, a warrior from the Ice Tiger clan. He was very puzzled by this situation. He came from other places, looking for his brother Xianxia to be a guest, and he came here for a trip, but he didn't expect to come here. After the city, he saw such a scene, extremely depressed. This scene made him shocked. Hulu, you don't know something. Recently, a terrifying murderer appeared in Bloodwolf City, and he will appear once night falls. Wolf 13 said helplessly, it will randomly appear in a house and ask if the other person can open the door. If it cannot open the door, it will leave automatically. But if someone kindly opens the door, the whole family will die. Do not stay. What kind of murderer is so terrifying? If you act so arrogantly, is there no one in Bloodwolf City to take care of you? Hulu was shocked. It didn't expect that a murderer would be so arrogant and actually commit murder directly in a huge city. This simply doesn't take the masters of this city into consideration. Of course I do. How could I not care? Lang San said solemnly. The city lord has sent countless soldiers to track down the murderer, but after months of searching, the whereabouts of the murderer have not been found. It comes and goes without a trace, never leaving any clues at the crime scene. It only appears at night, and its attacks are extremely ruthless. Wherever it appears, any life will die. Previously, the city lord had sent a group of masters to try to ambush the opponent, but the next morning, corpses were found all over the ground. All the masters were dead, leaving no one alive. From then on, even the city lord was afraid and no longer dared to deal with this murderer. In the end, we could only close the door tightly at night and did not dare to go out at all. Fortunately, the murderer seems to have his own unique rules and never opens the door forcefully. As long as we refuse, the other party will leave automatically, and now everything is safe. Is there such a thing? It sounds like the murderer didn't have much intelligence. Lu was amazed. The world is so big and full of wonders. It's unclear anyway. So far, no living being has seen the true face of the murderer. Wolf 13 shook his head. Dong dong dong. At this moment, a rhythmic knocking sound suddenly sounded outside the door. Every knocking sound was like knocking on his heart, which made him feel uncomfortable. It was extremely uncomfortable. In an instant, the hairs on Wolf 13 and Tiger 6 stood up, feeling a huge crisis. Then a hoarse voice came over. Open the door. Is there a kind person who can open the door? Have mercy on me, the old man. Such a voice seems to contain magic, making people involuntarily relax their vigilance. Lu subconsciously wanted to go over and open the door. Stop. Don't open the door. It must be the murderer. Wolf 13 caught Tiger 6, his hair stood on end, and he was frightened. He felt that he had never been so close to death. The murderer is coming? That's just right. Hearing this, Lu smiled ferociously, eager to try. I wonder what kind of murderer would be so arrogant and dare to commit murder every night. He simply doesn't know whether to live or die. Don't worry, I'm an immortal level master with strong fighting power. I can't even kill many evil ghosts. I don't care about that guy at all. Wolf 13 was stunned. He also knew that his brother was indeed extraordinary in combat. He had saved his life several times on the battlefield. He also knew that what the other party said was true.
Whoosh.
Before Wolf 13 could say anything, Lu stood up directly, came to the door, and opened the door nonchalantly.
Boom.
Suddenly, an old man wearing a black robe appeared outside the door. It seemed that his whole body was covered, and he could not see at all.
It was clear what he looked like.
The moment he opened the door, it seemed that the entire house was flooded with endless cold air, as if the entire area was frozen. Both Tiger 6 and Wolf 13 couldn't help but shudder. An old man? Lu was stunned. He didn't expect to see a weak old man when he opened the door. Could it be that what he met this time was not a murderer, but just an ordinary old man who wanted to stay overnight? Thank you, kind-hearted person. The old man in black robe suddenly raised his head, revealing his empty eyes, dry skin, and scattered teeth. He smiled ferociously and grabbed it with his big hand. Oh no! Lu screamed, and it let out an unimaginable scream. Its neck was grabbed by a terrifying big hand. No matter how much strength it exerted, it could not break free. Even the power it blasted out, he was unable to cause any harm to the old man in black robe. There was a click, and the next second, Lu's neck was instantly twisted, and the life breath on his body disappeared. A master of the immortal level was crushed to death in an instant. Not good. The hair on Wolf 13's hair stood up, and he immediately wanted to run away, but it was too late. With a thud, the old man in black robe was extremely fast, invisible, and instantly came behind Wolf 13. He grabbed it with his big hand and twisted it instantly, broken its neck. As a result, all life in the entire room was extinguished. But the old man in black robe had no expression on his face, without any emotion. He was like a machine executing a program. After killing all the life here, he turned around and left.
Whoosh.
It flashed and appeared randomly in another house. It stood outside the door and knocked gently. Open the door. Is there any kind person who can open the door? I have pity on the old man. The rhythmic knocking on the door seemed extremely eerie and strange in the empty and silent night, and the power of fear spread throughout the city. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in the midair of the city, looking down from a high position, holding a pen in his hand, recording something. Weird number 125698, name, Knocker. It comes from folklore, a scary, evil spirit that will kill the owner of the house if he opens the door late at night and lets strangers in. It has extremely strong defense and strength. It is immune to most attacks and can easily kill Immortal level masters. As fear spreads, the power of the knocker is constantly rising. Defense method: as long as you don't open the door, you won't die. Once you open the door late at night, you will definitely die. Hazard level low. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 321. Aoki Great World, a huge city, is the city of the Ice Ox clan. At this moment, there was an unprecedented panic in this giant city. Balloons suddenly floated over the city, but these were not ordinary balloons, but balloons with human heads. The heads of many members of the Ice Ox tribe were hung over the city, floating like balloons, and they showed endless frightened expressions. Blood was flowing from their noses, mouths, ears, etc. You can imagine the miserable state they were in before they died. The whole city exudes an eerie and terrifying atmosphere. What happened? What is going on? Who did it? How dare you to kill someone from my Ice Ox tribe and hang his head in the sky? What a joke. A group of Ice Cow clan chiefs were furious and thought this was a provocation. No, they were not killed by the enemy. It is said that they hanged themselves. After death, their heads and bodies separated, turned into balloons, and rose into the air, creating this scene. A Bing Myo said in a deep voice, "Are you kidding me? Hanging myself? Even if he committed suicide by hanging, so many people should not have died." This is indeed true, so some tribesmen suspect that this is a curse. All tribesmen who have been exposed to the curse will hang themselves, and their heads will turn into balloons and rise into the air. I don't know how many tribesmen have died these days. Are you kidding? Don't you, the city lord, take care of it? No matter what, it is said that even the city lord has been cursed. His head has been made into a balloon, floating in the air, and he will never die again. Even the city lord is dead? What happened? Also, why don't you take down these balloons with human heads, and they're still floating in the air? It's so scary. It cannot be taken off. Once the human head balloon is touched, it will explode instantly, producing a terrifying power that is enough to kill all living beings who come into contact with the balloon. The curse will even spread. No wonder no tribesman dares to take down the human head balloon from midair. This is the source of the curse. It seems that we can no longer stay in this city. Staying here is a dead end. Many Ice Ox tribe people are extremely frightened. They feel that the entire city is covered by a curse. If they continue to stay here, life in the entire city will be wiped out.
Whoosh.
A figure appears in a corner of the city, looking up. The human head balloon floating in the sky holds a pen in the hand, recording the message of this incident. Weird number 678545, codename, Human Head Balloon. Its body is a wire rope, which can strangle countless lives, cut off their heads, turn them into balloons, float in midair, and create countless fears. Weird source. It is said that in a village, a woman died of despair and hanged herself. As a result, her head floated in midair, which aroused the fear of countless villagers. Pattern of action: killing indiscriminately, creating fear, and spreading fear. Wherever it appeared, it had completely wiped out life in cities, with human heads floating in the sky above the entire city. As fear spreads, its power grows stronger. Hazard level high. Red Rock World. At this moment in a forest. Quick, run quickly. Don't be caught up by that monster. Damn it, damn it. How could we have provoked such a monster? I saw more than a dozen scale-armored tribesmen running wildly in the forest. They were extremely frightened. Even though there was no pursuit behind them, they still ran away with all their lives and did not dare to look back.
Boom, boom, boom.
At this moment, in the darkness, there were waves of rhythmic footsteps. Although there was no figure, clearly visible footprints appeared on the ground. Apparently, these terrifying and weird footprints were heading towards these scales. The A tribe members chased after them, and their speed became faster and faster. The footsteps vibrated like drums, stepping on their hearts. No, I can't run anymore. With a bang, one of the scales fell to the ground, panting, and its whole body collapsed on the ground. At this moment, it had no strength at all, because it had been running for 3 days and 3 nights to avoid the other party's pursuit. But even so, the other party is still chasing after him and has not gotten rid of it until now. Don't run away and fight the monster. Even if we keep running like this, we won't be able to get rid of it. It's better to fight the monster to the end. The scale warriors gnashed their teeth and looked ferocious. They were forced to this level and were completely ruthless. It was considered a last-ditch fight. Damn it, here it comes. The expression of a scale armor warrior changed drastically.
Boom.
In an instant, dense footprints appeared on the ground, and then a transparent sword energy blasted through the void and struck these scale armor warriors in an instant. With a click, the scale armor warriors had almost no resistance and were killed by a knife in an instant.
Bang, bang, bang.
After killing these scale armor warriors with a knife, the transparent footprints seemed to have stopped chasing them, aimlessly, moving forward into the distance, walking step by step. And transparent footprints appeared on the ground, which looked extremely strange.
Whoosh.
A figure appeared in the sky, looking down from a high position, and saw the scene just now, and what was written on the pen in his hand, recording this weird message. Word número 98778. Codename, Demon. Its body is transparent, and no life can discover its true form. It is hidden in dimensional time and space. It walks in the world and moves without any rules. It will leave footprints on the ground. If anyone steps on its footprints, they will be chased by the swordsman. If they are struck by a sword, they will die without a doubt. This is an unstoppable sword. No matter how you dodge, no matter how fast you are, if you hide to the end of the world, once you are struck by the sword demon, you will definitely die. Furukawa thought of the demons and monsters spreading all over the earth. They are monsters formed after the strong men died, and their souls devoured evil thoughts, negative power, evil spirits, and other forces. In fact, the rampage of evil ghosts has also caused countless fear of life. This also makes evil spirits even transform into monsters, and their power increases countless times. Monsters such as red shoes, sword demons, etc. are actually transformed from evil spirits. Because they are wreaking havoc everywhere on the earth, they produce, he is told, countless stories and weird legends. Over time, coupled with the spreading of rumors, they have turned into grotesques and become more terrifying in power. However, he is not concerned about these, but more serious problems. As time goes by, the number of evil ghosts will increase and increase, causing the entire world to become filled with ghosts. At that time, the entire world may turn into a ghost realm, and living people will not be able to survive at all. The power of death, the power of evil ghosts, and the power of resentment, the power of darkness, etc. will erode the power of the world, pollute the spiritual energy between heaven and earth, and weaken the vitality of life. Therefore, it is imperative to contain and imprison these evil ghosts. To contain these evil spirits, it seems that we need to build a hell world and construct 6 paths of reincarnation. Furukawa touched his chin. He also remembered the hell world in his previous life, which was actually born naturally. But it is different now. The number of evil ghosts born now is many times more than that in the previous life. If there were no man-made, if you want to build the underworld, you don't know how long it will take to build it. In order to survive the heavens and the world, the hell world must be built. The dead and the living cannot be in the same world. Otherwise, the power of life and the power of death, there will be a violent collision, leading to the complete collapse of the entire world. This is something Furukawa cannot allow. Well, first find a place to build hell. Thinking of this, Furukawa closed his eyes, and his soul instantly penetrated all the worlds, looking for a place suitable for building hell. It didn't take long for him to sense an extremely gloomy place. That was the prehistoric world. The hell of the world is empty. There is no doubt that the hell of the prehistoric world is the largest place in the world. It is enough to accommodate countless evil ghosts. It is a prison that is very suitable for holding evil ghosts in the world.
Whoosh.
Furukawa's figure is a flash, immediately left the central dojo, directly entered the prehistoric world, and arrived in the void of hell. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 327. In the Hell of the Prehistoric World. Originally, Luo, who was recovering from his injuries in the blood sea of the Styx. At this moment, his hair stood on end, feeling a great crisis, as if an uninvited guest had arrived at the blood sea. In fact, it wasn't just it, the entire blood sea, no, the entire hell creatures were trembling because of this uninvited guest, as if a disaster was imminent. Although the uninvited guest did not target the creatures of hell, the aura emanating from his body was enough to crush the void of hell and shatter the sky. No way, he's actually the city lord? Seeing Furukawa's figure from a distance, Luo, who couldn't help showing a shocked expression. In fact, he had never seen the Lord of Chaos City in person, but the portrait of the Lord of Chaos City was spread everywhere, and he had also seen it. So it could be recognized at a glance that this uninvited guest must be the Lord of Chaos City. In an instant, it held its breath and tried its best to restrain its aura, lest it be discovered by the Lord of Chaos City. Although it didn't know if it was useful, but it can bring you some inner comfort. Fortunately, the Lord of Chaos City doesn't seem to care about it. No, he doesn't care about the creatures in the entire hell. As if he was just passing by, he quickly entered the deepest part of hell. What did the Lord City Lord do when he entered the deepest part of hell? Could it be that he had some plan? To be honest, Luo, who didn't dare to enter the deepest place in hell, because that place is extremely terrifying. It is a place where the resentment after the death of the Chaos Demon God and the resentment after the death of Doomsday condensed. Even the gods cannot resist the resentment inside, let alone a little shrimp like it. Even though it stayed in the sea of blood for a long time, at most it was just hanging out on the periphery and did not dare to enter the deepest place. Otherwise it would be wiped out by the sea of blood in an instant. Eroded by the energy of the Styx, he instantly became a madman and his soul collapsed. There must be a big plan. Luo, whose eyes showed a glimmer of light. He knew that a person with great magical powers like the Lord of Chaos City, if he didn't move, his movements would definitely shake the world and shake the past and the present. At this moment when the other party enters hell, there must be something big to do. It's a pity. It doesn't dare to get too close to the opponent, lest it be discovered by the city lord. But no matter what, if there are any changes in hell, it will definitely benefit greatly. Maybe the opportunity to become a saint in the future will be here. Nice place. Furukawa stood in the hell of the prehistoric world. He felt that the entire space of hell was huge, comparable to the surface world of the prehistoric world. In fact, these were two worlds, one light and one dark, two positive and negative sides. You can also feel that the void of hell is filled with the ubiquitous power of death, resentment, darkness, and negativity. It is an excellent place for hell. This is also a place where countless evil ghosts can live. He can also sense that the hell world also breeds countless hell creatures such as devils, Shura, etc. All creatures born from hell. In addition, there are also many hell monsters, for example, hell ants, hell flowers, hell trees, etc. But when these hell creatures sensed their own aura, they all retreated quickly and did not dare to get close at all. However, this place is just a void space and has not yet formed the prototype of a complete world. Let's start by forming a complete world. Furukawa circulated the Tao power in his body and tapped his finger lightly.
Boom.
In an instant, with Furukawa's body as the center, The entire void of hell shook, and the endless breath of hell continued to roll, like a storm, towards it pushed forward from all directions, affecting every corner of the void of hell. Suddenly, the entire hell world underwent earth-shaking changes. All the chaotic auras of hell suddenly became orderly. The clean air rose, and the turbid air fell. Countless strands of darkness the thunder flashed, seemingly splitting open the endless materials of the hell world, completely dividing these hell materials, turning them into mountains, ores, soil, lava, etc. For things like opening up the world, Furukawa has long been familiar with it. He doesn't know how many worlds he has opened up, so it is easy for him to open up a hell world. Click, click, click. Under the control of Furukawa, with a slight stroke of his finger, time and space were immediately split, and the entire hell world was destroyed. All were separated. In an instant, one layer after another of hell worlds emerged. Under Furukawa's control, 108 levels of hell worlds appeared in a short time. The area of each level of hell world was vast and boundless, with almost no end in sight, and as time goes by, the space area is still expanding. The reason why so many hell worlds are divided is to better imprison various types of hell. The more powerful the evil ghost is, the deeper it will fall into the hell world. And the evil ghost can only fall, cannot rise, and will always be trapped in the hell world. Blah blah blah. At this moment, the layers of hell world also show different scenery. Some are ice hells, with ice and snow everywhere, blowing with a cold wind of hell. As if a wisp of cold wind from hell blows in, it will be frozen in an instant, and even the soul will be imprisoned in this place forever. A thick layer of ice formed on the ground, exuding an eternal aura of silence. Some are burning hells, where supervolcanoes emerge one after another, endless lava flows, and the air is filled with a strong smell of sulfur. And this place is simply silent, burning with eternal hellfire. Some are thunder hells. The entire hell space is covered with dark clouds, one after another, extremely thick, like mercury, and billions of hell thunders are falling all the time. Any creature that enters this hell will encounter countless thunder punishments until it disappears into ashes. There is a hell of hell, where the hell wind blows all the time. Every ray of hell wind is extremely terrifying. When it blows on a living being, it will instantly weaken the flesh and blood in the body, leaving only the skeleton. Any creature that enters this hell of strong winds will probably be blown into skeletons. Even as time goes by, even the skeletons will turn into dust and disappear completely from this world. There are poisonous hells. This hell is full of poisonous swamps. Every drop of liquid is extremely terrifying and poisonous. Even the airflow here is filled with terrifying poisonous gas. Once entering the poisonous hell, even evil ghosts will be poisoned to the point where their bodies will ooze pus, and their souls will fly away. But these hells are just child's play, and can only be regarded as the first 18 levels of hell. Once one falls below the 19 levels of hell, the power of hell increases at a geometric rate. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 328. For example, in the 27th level of gravity hell, any creature entering it will be subjected to extremely terrifying gravity, just like mountains being carried on its back. No matter what your strength is, if you enter the gravity hell, the gravity you will bear will always be 1 gram less than the force your body can bear. In other words, if you try your best, you can barely stand up. If you can't, you will always lie on the ground, unable to move. It can be said that if you are in this hell, if you want to stand up and walk, you need to use all your strength every moment, and you will be tortured by gravity all the time. Living in this hell, you will feel that every second is worse than death, as if you are about to suffocate. You obviously want to die, but you always leave yourself a breath. 36 levels of hunger hell. This is also an extremely terrifying hell. Hunger is not just about eating, but refers to everything. Entering this hell, you will feel extremely hungry and want to eat anything, even if you cannot eat it. Eating dirt, eating stones, eating feces, etc. will all feel extremely delicious. Even if you want to vomit, you will still swallow it in your stomach. The stomach will be hungry, and the emotions will also be hungry. Creatures that like treasures will treat anything they see as a treasure, including stones. Once anyone dares to steal it, they will fall into madness and want to take everything in the world into their arms. Even if he gets all the treasures in the world, he will never be satisfied until he is killed. Creatures that like love will attack any creature, no matter whether they are of the same species or not, whether they are men or women, whether they are organic or inorganic. And even if you get this feeling, you will never be satisfied. You will be hungry all the time, and you will never stop craving for it. It can be said that when you enter the hunger hell, your most desired emotions will be amplified to the extreme, leading to the destruction of life. The 49th level is the Transformation Hell. After entering this hell, you will change your identity. If you are a king, you will become a beggar. You can only make a living by begging forever, with your legs disabled and your eyes blind. If you are a man, you will transform into a woman, giving birth to children every moment, and enduring the pain of giving birth countless times. If you are a strong person, you will transform into a weak person with no power to restrain a chicken. Any living being can bully you. You have no power to fight back and can only be beaten severely. If you are a rich man, you will become a poor man. You can only make a living by doing hard labor every day, carrying goods, and having a rest every day is a luxury, and you will never get ahead. If she is a beautiful woman, she will turn into an ugly woman and suffer discrimination. She will have pus on her face and scars all over her body, and she will be hated by gods and ghosts. And this kind of transformation cannot change for the better. It can only make the good become worse, and the bad become worse, without any chance of getting better. This is eternal torture. The 72nd level of Thorn Hell. Creatures entering this hell will be whipped by thorns at all times. No matter how powerful the creature is, as long as it is whipped, it will definitely bleed, and the wound will not heal. At the same time, there is a heartbreaking pain from the wound all the time, and even the soul will suffer endless pain. At the same time, every pain will force life into one's most painful memories, and constantly experiencing pain is like dying countless times. Even this whipping doesn't stop until it collapses. No tough man can withstand such torture. There are also 81 levels of Dark Hell. Entering this hell, all living creatures will be deprived of hearing, vision, taste, touch, and all senses will not be completely deprived. No light can enter the Dark Hell. This is a terrifying hell that is always dark. Once you enter this hell, you will feel like your days are like years. You can't see or feel any living things at all, and you are in absolute loneliness. And this time is not a matter of a day or a year, but tens of epochs, hundreds of millions of epochs, infinite epochs. It is eternal silence, and it will always be like this. Even Pengu, the chaos demon god in his previous life, could not bear the eternal silence. Even if he died, he would open up the wilderness. One can imagine how terrible eternal loneliness is. To a certain extent, a chaotic world without any living things is no different from an eternal lonely world. The 108 levels of hell all present different scenery, containing the terrifying power of hell. They are definitely not a place where any living being can gain a foothold. This is a place where only the dead can survive. It's a bit troublesome. It seems that this hell world has become extremely scary. Furukawa blinked. To be honest, he didn't expect that after he created the 108 levels of hell, these hell worlds would become so terrifying. To be honest, this was not something he created deliberately, but just followed the trend. Itself, this hell world is made up of countless dead chaos demon gods, as well as the death energy and resentment of the doomsday of killing. The chaos demon god alone contains huge laws of the Great Road, and contains incredible power of laws. There is also the doomsday of killing. It contains the killing power of the entire universe. No one knows how much resentment and death energy it contains. Maybe these death energy and resentment burst out at the moment of death and merged into hell. So this led to the hell world. becoming extraordinarily powerful and extraordinarily weird. Once entering such a hell world, without his permission, not only ordinary creatures cannot get out, but even gods cannot escape from hell. Even if gods enter it, will encounter inhumane torture. This is a real place of hell. Forget it. This is a world where the dead are imprisoned anyway, and there shouldn't be any fool who casually enters hell. Of course, if you go in and you can't get out, then it has nothing to do with me. Furukawa touched his chin. However, there is something that connects the entire hell world. In fact, this is the natural force bred by the hell world itself, the Styx River. Some people also call it the Yellow Spring River. This river contains the river of death power, almost runs through the 108 levels of the hell world, and it has 9 twists and turns, covering every communication in the hell world. And this river also winds like a giant dragon, filled with the rich smell of hell.
Breath.
Huangquan River? Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light. To be honest, this river bred by hell itself is the supreme treasure in the hell world, containing incredible power of the underworld. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 329. Everything has yin and yang, and there are highly toxic poisons, and there are detoxification items next to them. Same thing. Although hell is the dirtiest place in the world, it is a place of the dead that contains endless power of death and resentment, enough to corrode all life. But there is nothing else that can deal with these powers of death and the power of the dead. The Yellow Spring River is the most precious river bred in hell. Once an evil ghost or any creature falls into the Yellow Spring River, it is basically impossible to get up. This river is enough to drown all life that enters the Yellow Spring River. Moreover, every drop of Huangquan River water contains the supreme power to purify evil ghosts. If evil ghosts enter the Huangquan River, they will be purified of resentment, death, and even their memories. This kind of river water is called Huangquan Holy Water by Furukawa. In fact, the raw material of Mengpa soup in later generations is the holy water of Huangquan. Just one drop of ordinary life can wash away all the memories deep in the soul and turn it into a piece of white paper. It is precisely because of this effect that the Huangquan River has become the most feared place for all the dead and living beings. Almost no life or dead dare to cross the Huangquan River. If you fall into the Huangquan River, you will definitely die. It won't take long for the memory on your body to be washed away and turned into the purest soul, becoming one of the infinite undead souls above the Huangquan River. Huangquan Holy Water? Furukawa stared at the Huangquan River. This river is a treasure formed by heaven and earth. Only in a place like hell can a river like the Huangquan River be born. To be honest, the effect of the Huangquan holy water is very terrifying, and it can wash away life. The memory of the deceased is the most vicious object, just like poison, and the same is true for living beings. But if the quantity is rare and used properly, it can bring endless benefits to the cultivators. You must know that many cultivators are because excessive force may cause the foundation to be unstable, or a fierce battle may have left irreparable scars on the body. But as long as you take the holy water of Huangquan, you can wash away the soul and impurities on the body, making the foundation stable and perfect, and even cultivated into a stain-free body. Even saints covet such Huangquan holy water because Huangquan holy water also has an effect on saints and can make up for the saints' foundation. One can imagine the preciousness of Huangquan holy water. He's staring at these underworld holy water. I feel that every drop of water contains the incredible power of underworld, with dense chaos runes appearing inside, as well as countless laws of death and life. It seems that every drop of underworld holy water is composed of the law of death and the law of life, the condensed law treasure. But this Huangquan River is also a bit troublesome. Furukawa touched his chin. To be honest, although this is just a river, in fact it is as wide as the sea. The width alone is several light years long, and some are tens of thousands of light years long. Length. I wonder what evil spirit can cross the Huangquan River that is several light years away and reach the other end of the Huangquan River. This Huangquan River is like a roadblock, cutting the hell world into countless areas. It seems that countless bridges still need to be built to connect the hell areas. Furukawa finally knew why there was such a thing as the Naiha Bridge. It was purely because the great supernatural beings from hell built it as a bridge across the Huangquan River. But the Huangquan River is so long that it literally crosses the east and west, and no one knows how many bridges need to be built. And a bridge that can carry the power of hell is not that simple. Ordinary bridges will be destroyed in an instant and cannot withstand many impacts. By the way, wouldn't it be enough to use this thing to build the Naiha Bridge? Suddenly, Furukawa remembered the slough on his body. It was the slough of the original ancient snake that he obtained when he was promoted to the realm of Hongmeng Saint. It can be said that this slough contains the laws of the Infinite Avenue. The power is simply not comparable to that of ordinary chaos treasures. I am afraid that it is only one step short of reaching the level of cosmic secret treasures. If the remains of his original ancient snake are used as a bridge, it will be able to easily penetrate hell, and even penetrate all the heavens and worlds, connecting countless worlds. After all, this hell is not only a hell in the prehistoric world, but also a hell that connects all heavens and all realms. It can attract evil ghosts and undead from countless worlds into the hell world. I want to bring these evil ghosts from all heavens and all realms. To lead to hell, you must build a hell passage. There is no doubt that the Naiha Bridge is a hell passage that can run through countless worlds. To be honest, Furukawa had this idea and was inspired by the comic book Dragon Ball. The hell of the Dragon Ball world, there seems to be a road called the Snake Road. This Snake Road is extremely long and winding. I don't know how long it is. I only know that its end can lead to the deepest place in hell, and even to the location of the KO.
Land.
The same reason. If the remains of the primitive ancient snake are used as a bridge, it can not only withstand the corrosive power of death in the hell world, but also resist countless attacks. Even the power of doomsday cannot destroy the remains of the primitive ancient snake. At the same time, after the remains of the original ancient snake are refined into a magic weapon, it can also be extended infinitely and can easily penetrate worlds. It is simply a ready-made supreme treasure. Interesting, after the construction is successful, will it become a primitive ancient snake path? This will be a road that connects the living and the dead, carrying the infinite wishes of all living beings. Furukawa touched his chin. He felt that he seemed to be refining the remains of his primitive ancient snake into an unprecedented magic weapon, and perhaps it would be promoted to the level of the secret treasure of the universe, containing infinite power. Rumble. Thinking of this, he without hesitation, he immediately took out the remains of the primitive ancient snake from his body and began to integrate it into the whole hell, running through the entire hell world. To be honest, the remains of the primitive ancient snake were engraved with the Great Cause and Effect technique and the Great Chaos technique. The Great Yin-Yang technique, the Great Five Elements technique, and other supreme magic spells are engraved with countless layers of chaos restrictions. It is a ready-made supreme magic weapon, and it can be used directly, without any refining.
Wow.
In an instant, in under Furukawa's control, the remains of this primitive ancient snake started to move, as if it came to life at this moment, exuding endless pressure of chaos. At this moment, huge vibrations occurred in all the heavens and worlds, buzzing. All the gods felt the incredible vibration, and the laws of chaos were trembling and buzzing at this moment. What's going on? What happened? Many gods were shocked. Their thoughts were intertwined with each other, asking each other for news whether an incredible disaster had occurred somewhere. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 330. What happened? The most profound feeling is undoubtedly the creature itself in the prehistoric hell, especially Rahu. It feels an unparalleled divine power permeating the air. At this moment, it is simply trembling, hiding in the deepest part of the sea of blood. Not at all dare to come out. As for the other creatures in the blood sea, not to mention, they are afraid that they will be shocked to death by this momentum when they come out. This. Luo, whose eyes widened. According to the theory of reincarnation in the six paths, All lives can turn into ghosts and the dead in essence, constantly reincarnating in the six paths, and the cycle repeats. But in this way, the lives in this world of six realms will neither increase nor decrease, and will always maintain a certain number. This theory is inconsistent with the evolution of the world, because as the world evolves, the number of lives is constantly increasing. Or, encountering a disaster, life will be greatly reduced. In short, it is impossible to neither increase nor decrease. There is only one reason why the Six Paths world can do this, that is, it is not just a world, but a super magic weapon that contains the power of six reincarnations. Magic weapon. Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light, and he continued to deduce the Chaos Bagua technique deep in the sea of consciousness. As the deduction continued, he felt that this guess was becoming more and more likely. The reason why in the previous life, many saints joined forces to divide the prehistoric world, the six paths of reincarnation, and the six realms were established. It seemed like the entire prehistoric world was refined into a super magic weapon. Why the prehistoric world was refined into a magic weapon? He guessed that it was because the saints also encountered powerful enemies. In order to resist the powerful, the enemy made such a decision. The six worlds are composed of six worlds, namely the Hell world, the human world, the heaven world, the animal world, the evil ghost world, the Shuro world, etc. These six worlds form a perfect closed-loop world has been created, so that it is almost impossible for any enemy to invade the Six Paths world. Once this balance is broken, it will be noticed by the saints in an instant. At the same time, the Six Paths world contains the powerful power of six paths of reincarnation. It can easily strangle countless strong men. Even if Doomsday wants to invade the Six Paths world, it is impossible. If it really evolves into the Six Paths world, I'm afraid it won't be that easy for Doomsday to invade. Reincarnation. Furukawa clenched his fist. To be honest, the Six Paths closed-loop world can isolate the invasion of all external forces. This is only one of the advantages of the Six Paths world. The biggest advantage is reincarnation. You must know that the talent of life is limited. Not every life their talents are as terrifying as the Chaos Demon God, and many beings don't even have any cultivation talents at all. But the emergence of six reincarnations is different. If the talents of one life are not enough, then the accumulation of 2 lives, 3 lives, 4 lives, one life after another, then the talent of cultivation will continue to increase, and the strength will continue to increase and sublimate. Just like the Jade Emperor, he is the Emperor of Heaven. He controls the 36 heavens and 72 lands. He is in charge of gods, immortals, Buddhas. All matters in the holy, human, and underworld have boundless power. He is known as the Holy Lord of the Sky and the King of Heaven. He praises the Jade Emperor for his great power. He received the secret instructions from Yuanshi Tianzuan and opened the heaven-holding talisman with a deficit of jade inscriptions. The Supreme Law contains the true imperial calendar, the 4 emperors of the Golden Palace assist, the 4 saints of the North Pole protected, and the great Emperor Jiuqin of the Divine Sky guards him. His wonderful appearance is majestic, his body of law is supreme, he rules the heavens and all saints. This is how powerful, basically the first person under the saints. In his previous life, he was a boy under Hongjuan sect. Although his talent was good, it was not as good as Nuwa, Zhuanti, Yuan, and other saints. In order to enhance his talent and cultivation, because he was reincarnated a full 1,750 times, and it took an unknown number of epochs for him to finally achieve enlightenment. In addition to the Jade Emperor, immortals in heaven have also been reincarnated again and again. Even the Buddha of Buddhism also reincarnated again and again. They reincarnated not only to cultivate their Taoist mind, but also to enhance their cultivation talents, and then use the accumulation of countless lives to achieve positive results. It can be said that the world of 6 reincarnations itself is to cultivate strong people so as to achieve positive results. A super world that was deliberately created. As long as you stay in the 6 worlds and continue to reincarnate, all life will become stronger from life to life. Even most of the life in the 6 worlds are immortal, Even if they die, they will reborn in the six paths and then reincarnated into another life. It can be said that this is also a super magic weapon. Once you fight the enemy, even if you go outside the territory and die with a powerful enemy, you can quickly be reborn in the Six Paths world. The results can be imagined. After entering the Six Paths world, the power of life in the Six Paths world can be greatly enhanced. One can imagine the intention of the saints to deliberately forge the Six Paths world. Basically, the Six Paths world is a super war fortress, like an aircraft carrier. Could it be that the prehistoric world also suffered an apocalyptic invasion in the previous life? Furukawa narrowed his eyes. He felt that this possibility was very high. Because in later generations, saints disappeared, no cultivators were born, and they fell into the age of ending Dharma. All immortals and gods became extinct. This must have been an unprecedented disaster. That's why this will happen. Interesting. Has it evolved from the prehistoric world to the world of six realms? Furukawa touched his chin. He felt that this was an inevitable trend. Once it evolved into the world of six realms, the prehistoric world would be truly impregnable and would become the final fortress of countless lives in the chaotic universe. Even the Doomsday could not break it. By then, even if a Nar comes into this universe, with the defense of the Six Paths world, he may be able to withstand the Nar's attack and barely save his life. And as time goes by, the life inside the Six Paths world will become stronger from generation to generation. Gave birth to countless strong men. He couldn't help but sigh. He was worthy of being a saint in his previous life, with great wisdom. Although these saints were not as powerful as he was at the moment, their fantastic ideas still inspired Furukawa greatly. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 336. However, it is not yet possible to divide the world into six realms. Furukawa resisted the urge to divide the prehistoric world. At this moment, the prehistoric world has not grown to its peak. It can be said that it is still in the process of growth and has not reached its peak state. Only when the prehistoric world was extremely prosperous was it divided into six realms. Can make the world of six realms the strongest. If we take action now, it will only encourage the growth of the world. It seems we have to wait a while. Furukawa thought for a moment and decided to continue waiting. Once many saints are born in the prehistoric world, and the time is right, then they can evolve into the six worlds. And what he lacks most now is time. As for the Hell world, it will temporarily serve as a place to imprison evil spirits. The world of ghosts and the world of Hell also takes a certain amount of time to slowly evolve and improve. By the way, Hell still lacks some manpower. Furukawa touched his chin. He couldn't make Hell without the help of the Chaos Demon God. It might lead to chaos in Hell, so he needs to find some Chaos Demon God to help. One day later, the four demon gods, the three-headed demon dog, the dark cat, the three-eyed demon monkey, and the Vajra demon pig, who originally guarded Chaos City, were suddenly summoned by Furukawa and came to Hell. Lord City Lord. The four chaotic demon gods, the three-headed demon dog, the dark cat, the three-eyed demon monkey, and the Vajra demon pig, all looked around curiously. They sensed that this place was the world of the dead, and the atmosphere of the law of death was everywhere. And the entire the world is boundless, and endless dead people are rushing in from all worlds. This also makes the entire Hell world full of ghosts and contains immeasurable power of death. Even if they are chaos demon gods, they are in awe of such a place of death. It seems that it contains incredible power and is filled with endless mysteries. I asked you to come here today because I want to use the strength of the four of you to guard Hell. Furukawa stood with his hands behind his hands. What? The four chaos demon gods, the three-headed demon dog, the dark cat, the three-eyed demon monkey, and the diamond demon pig were a little surprised. They didn't expect that the city lord actually asked them to give up guarding Chaos City and come here instead. Guard this land of Hell. This place is very important. It is the place of the dead in all heavens and all realms. It will definitely become an extremely important place in all heavens and all realms in the future. You must guard this place and protect the safety of this place, and you will also gain from it endless benefits. Furukawa looked at the 4 chaos demon gods. Yes, Lord City Lord. The eyes of the 4 chaotic demon gods, the 3-headed demon dog, the dark cat, the 3-eyed demon monkey, and the Vajra demon pig, showed a glimmer of light, and their hearts moved. Is this the opportunity that the City Lord said? They can feel the destiny in the dark. Promoted by the power of the people, this matter is extremely important to them. I don't know what specifically the City Lord needs us to do. The 3-headed devil dog couldn't help but ask. Although they knew they wanted to guard hell, they didn't have a regulation on how to guard it. Your task is actually very simple. Furukawa stood with his hands behind his back and said, 3-headed devil dog, you are responsible for guarding the gate of hell. It is the only passage connecting the living world and the underworld. The living cannot be allowed to break into the underworld. This is the rule. Yes, Lord City Lord, I will definitely guard the portal of hell and will not let the living in. The 3-headed devil dog couldn't help but nodded. It understood that its duty was to guard the gate of hell. It was a heavy responsibility to guard the only passage to the underworld. It also knew that the Lord of the city valued hell, so he actually allowed himself to guard it. The only door to hell is trust and respect for yourself. Dark Cat, you are good at hiding, and you have thousands of incarnations. Furukawa looked at the Dark Cat. I order you to appear in the living world and capture those evil ghosts that still remain in the living world. The dead cannot continue to stay in the living world. At the same time, you must also collect various intelligence to avoid enemies. Invasion of the underworld. Although the countless dragon veins in the world can easily swallow evil ghosts one by one and send these evil ghosts to the snake path of hell like instinct. However, there are also some evil ghosts who are extremely resentful, or are powerful, or have developed wisdom. They can withstand the devouring power of the dragon veins and resist entering hell. And these evil ghosts will wander around the world and cause great harm to the world. These are the fish that have slipped through the net. In order to catch these lawless elements, someone needs to take action. It is said that dark cats are the police of the underworld, responsible for catching these evil spirits who deliberately stay in the world. Meow meow, Lord City Lord, I will capture every one of these evil spirits. The dark cat nodded, indicating that it understood its responsibilities. It was very excited. To be honest, it had long been tired of staying in Chaos City and wanted to walk in the world, and Furukawa's order was in line with its own wishes. Go there. How interesting it is to capture those fleeing evil spirits in all the worlds. King Kong Demon Pig. Furukawa looked at the Vajra Demon Pig and said, you are powerful and indestructible. You will be responsible for the security of hell and prevent these evil spirits from rioting and causing harm to hell. You can become the jailer of hell. Although it is enough to imprison evil ghosts into hell, jailers still need to manage these evil ghosts, and the Vajra Demon Pig is powerful and has extremely strong physical defense.
It is the right candidate for this job.
Don't worry, Lord City Lord. If those evil spirits dare to run wild, the old pig will hit them with a 9-tooth rake and drive them to pieces. The Vajra Demon Pig said with a ferocious expression. It held a 9-tooth nail rake in its hand, and its body exuded monstrous, demonic energy. The power of Vajra Dao was emitted from all over its body. It is difficult for any force to invade its body. There is also the 3-eyed monkey. You have the most important responsibility. Furukawa finally focused on the 3-eyed demon monkey and said, you must not only assist the Vajra Demon Pig to maintain the order of hell, but also maintain the order of the snake path in hell. At the same time, if there are evil spirits that are difficult to contend with in the mortal world, you will also to help. You want to take on the position of commander of hell's troops. Yes, Lord City Lord. The 3-eyed demon monkey is extremely excited. It knows how important this position is. It is simply responsible for maintaining the security of the entire hell. It basically controls the military strength of the hell world. And this is indeed in line with its character. It can challenge many powerful people. satisfy its desire to fight. There is no doubt that the Hell world will usher in countless, unruly and strong men. These strong men were the bosses of one world during their lifetimes, and their fighting power is tyrannical. Fighting with these bosses is simply, it is its long-cherished wish, and there is nothing more suitable for it than this. Well, very good, then the Hell world will be left to you. Don't let me down. After explaining everything, Furukawa's body flashed and disappeared into the Hell world in an instant, leaving behind only the three-headed demon dog, the dark cat, the three-eyed demon monkey, and the diamond demon pig. The primitive ancient snake. Chapter 337. I am the god who guards the gates of hell. At this moment, the three-headed demon dog stood in front of the gate of hell. It roared, earth-shaking, and sent out bursts of huge sound waves, like law fluctuations, shaking in all directions. It stood in front of the gate of hell, emitting terrifying demonic fluctuations. All the dead who enter the gate of hell must go through its review and permission. Vaguely, its power produces the same fluctuations as the gate of hell. However, the three-headed devil dog only guards the largest hell. The gate is the final gathering place of countless snake paths and the only door connecting the hell world to the outside world. There seem to be quite a few gates to hell. The eyes of the three-headed devil dog showed a glimmer of light. In fact, every world has a door to hell. It is the only door connecting the world to the snake path of hell. As many worlds as there are, there will be as many doors to hell. If only it is simply impossible for a three-headed devil dog to guard all the gates of hell. Well, let my children guard it. The three-headed devil dog thought for a while and decided to let the race he created, the three-headed hellhound, guard the gates of hell in each world. In fact, it has not only guarded Chaos City in these years. As the Chaos Demon God nature also has the ability to create races, so it created the three-headed dog race. This race also occupies several great worlds. Although the number is not very large, it is always the race it created and possesses part of its power. Letting these descendants guard the gates of hell in countless worlds will not only share its pressure, but also give the race they created a huge opportunity. At this moment, the three-headed dog clan immediately received the order of the three-headed demon dog. The Lord God sent an order for us to guard the gate of hell. Door of hell? What is this place? Why have you never heard of it before? It seems to be the only portal connecting the underworld and the present world. This portal is extremely important and is valued by the city lord, so we, the three-headed hellhound clan, are sent to guard it. Haha, great, the city lord really values our three-headed dog clan. Guarding the gate of hell this time is extremely important and cannot be missed. We must send the most elite tribesmen to guard it. Otherwise, if something goes wrong, our three-headed dog tribe will lose face. Don't worry, the strongest members of our three-headed dog clan will be dispatched, and no enemy can cross the gate of hell. The elders of the three-headed dog clan were talking about it. They were all extremely excited. What an honor they were to receive orders from the gods and the city lord. There is no doubt that this is the importance they attach to the three-headed dog clan. It is the supreme glory. Whoosh whoosh. In an instant, under the summons of the three-headed devil dog, three-headed dogs appeared in the gates of hell in countless worlds, and they guarded directly in front of the gates of hell. Dedicated to their duties. Gradually, they became known as the three-headed dogs of hell. At this moment, in a chaotic time and space, the dark cat is condescending, looking at the infinite world scattered throughout the chaos. It is filled with a dark aura, and its body is almost invisible. Capture the evil spirits scattered across the world? What a troublesome thing. The dark cat lazily looked at the world. But this is the task of the city lord, and it must be completed. Well, luckily I created the Black Cat clan. Let them catch those evil ghosts on my behalf. It also created a race of black cats. In fact, this race is also famous in all the worlds. Although the number is sparse, every black cat has super space talents and dark talents. They appear in the dark night. There is an aura of death and darkness, like the god of death in the middle of the night. At the same time, they are also good at assassination, and they are almost invincible. It can be said that the Black Cat clan is also a famous assassination clan in the world, making countless lives fearful of it. At this time, the Black Cat clan also heard the Dark Cat's order. The order of the Lord God allows us, the Black Cat family, to be born and go to various worlds to capture evil spirits. Catch the devil? Why is this? I don't know. It seems to be the responsibility of the gods. We, the Black Cat clan, will become messengers in the mortal world and the spokespersons of hell, catching those evil spirits who do evil in the mortal world. It turns out that it is the order of the gods, so we should obey it. Under the command of the Dark Cat, the Black Cat clan immediately dispatched, and Black Cats immediately appeared in all the worlds. They were like the dark god of death, appearing in every house and in the night. Wherever the undead appear, you will definitely see Black Cats. Over time, they have also been called an ominous symbol, a symbol of death, and a messenger of hell. Whoosh! The Dark Cat quietly sneaked into one of the worlds, lazily travel around the world happily. After all, this is a rare leisure time and free time. At this moment, endless evil ghosts are walking on the Hell Snake Passage. Every moment, a large number of evil ghosts pass through the Hell Snake Passage and enter the Hell World. After all, wars in the heavens and the world are too frequent, and countless lives are lost every day. These lives will also turn into evil ghosts, and then be swallowed by the origin of the world, and then all of them will enter the snake path of hell. To maintain the order of the snake passage in hell, there is no need for me to do such a simple job personally. Children, go ahead and lead these evil spirits to hell. The three-eyed demon monkey pulled out a vellus hair from its body and blew it gently. In an instant, the vellus hair immediately transformed into hundreds of millions of demon monkeys, each holding 18 kinds of weapons in their hands. Or a stick, or a spear, or a giant hammer, etc. Each demon monkey is extremely powerful. It seems to have a body of steel and iron bones, and has 3 eyes at the same time. It can easily see through countless illusions in the world. And these demon monkeys are also scattered on various snake passages. They turn into hell jailers, assisting in managing the order on the hell snake passages and speeding up the progress of these evil spirits. In fact, these monkeys are not clones of the three-eyed devil monkey, but it created a family of demon monkeys. But these demon monkeys do not live in other worlds, but live in its body. Every hair on its body is inhabited by billions of demon monkeys. Every hair on its body, they are all equivalent to one dimension of time and space. It can be said that the three-eyed monkey itself is a collection of super-worlds, a bit like the world tree, with its body containing countless small worlds. Basically, the three-eyed monkey it can be blessed by the power of faith of countless demon monkeys, and its power seems to be the collection of countless demon monkeys. Therefore, as long as the three-eyed demon monkey is willing, it can summon an army of trillions of demon monkeys in an instant and conquer many worlds. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 338. At this moment, in the Hell World, there are snake paths one after another. The dead from countless worlds appear on these snake paths, and they line up densely, walking on the snake paths. These dead people were still confused and devoid of any sense in the snake path of hell in the outside world, but after entering the Hell World, their true spirits were instantly integrated into the Hell World. Because of this, the dead suddenly regained consciousness and restored their memories before death, as if they had been reborn at this moment. Many laws of death also appear on them. What happened? Wasn't I fighting a war with an enemy race just now? Why did I appear in this place all of a sudden? A deceased person couldn't help but exclaimed. Its memory still stayed at the moment before death. It only remembered that it was in a war with a hostile race. It was a brave warrior, and it killed many enemies. But unfortunately, the next second, its body seemed to have been pierced by the enemy, followed by a burst of severe pain, and then it fell completely unconscious. It saw the scene around it, with extremely desolate environments everywhere, and it seemed that it was on a huge, extremely spacious road, and this road is winding, no one knows where it leads. And next to it is an endless river, which exudes a mysterious, powerful, and unfathomable underworld. The aura seems to contain endless power of death. This feeling makes it fearful and does not dare to fall. Once it falls, something unexpected will happen. Such consequences are what it does not want to see. Where is this place? I am the king of the kingdom of Potter. Where did you unscrupulous people take me? Are you trying to kidnap me? Believe it or not, my army from the Potter Kingdom will kill all of you unruly people. A deceased person shouted loudly, seeming very angry. Damn it! Where is this place? I was obviously practicing in seclusion, and then I was attacked by a sneak attack, and then I fell unconscious. I am Daluo Xianxia. Can anyone tell me where this place is? Another dead man shouted. Who is it who kidnapped us here? Do you want money or a magic weapon? I am a true disciple of the Luotian sect. Release me immediately, otherwise if the sect master finds out, all of you guys who kidnapped me will be dead, you know? No, 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 I want to go home. I want to go home. What the hell is this place? One by one, the dead screamed and panicked. Some were angry, some were panicking, some were at a loss, some were observing their surroundings, and some were very calm. In short, all the states of all living beings were displayed at this moment. They had no idea what was going on, and they didn't realize that they were dead a long time ago. They thought they had appeared somewhere else and had been kidnapped by a powerful force. Stop arguing. Stop chirping here. You are all dead and have entered the world of hell. At this moment, the figure of the Vajra demonic pig appeared in the midair. Its huge body exuded terrifying demonic power, which simply frightened hundreds of millions of light years around. It held a 9-tooth nail rake and was so fierce that countless lives were affected by it. Fear. Died? Are we already dead? Impossible. How could we die? Are you kidding me? Yes, if we are dead, how can we still be conscious? These dead people shouted, not believing the words of the King Kong demon pig at all. They thought they were under some illusion or were kidnapped to this strange place. Shut up, I don't care whether you believe it or not. Just get out of here, and don't block the way here. There are still many dead people queuing up behind me. I don't have time for you to chatter here. The King Kong demon pig said impatiently. Wait, you. What else would the deceased want to ask?
Oh.
The King Kong demon pig has an extremely bad temper. It is not a chaos demon god with a good temper. If Furukawa had not been suppressed and guarded in Chaos City for hundreds of millions of epochs, part of its demonic nature had been wiped out. I am afraid that all these dead people would have been killed long ago. It swallowed it. But these dead people actually dared to chirp here, thinking that its words were false. It roared and immediately set off a terrifying wind. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, these dead people couldn't bear it at all. The power of the roar of the Vajra demon pig was instantly blown away and flew directly out of the Hell Snake Passage. One by one, the dead fell from the Hell Snake Passage, and all of them fell into the Yellow Spring River. Aha! In an instant, after these dead people fell into the Huangquan River, they all let out shrill screams. They seemed to be soaked in sulfuric acid and were instantly corroded by the water of the Huangquan River. The karma, evil force, and the endless grievances were all purified by the water of the Yellow Spring River. These dead people felt as if they were undergoing the greatest torture, causing pain that cannot be described in words. No, no, no. Help, help, help us. We don't dare anymore. We don't dare anymore. Hurry up and pull us up. The dead screamed one by one. They struggled desperately on the Huangquan River, but once they fell into the Huangquan River, they could no longer struggle out. No matter how strong they were, they could only stay in the Huangquan River. In the river, one encounters eternal pain, constantly wiping away the vitality, karma, and evil force on the body. Once these karmas are eliminated, they will turn into skulls and sink forever in the deepest part of the river. Finally, they will turn into skulls. The soil of Huangquan River. Seeing this scene, all the dead people's hair stood on end. Their livers and gallbladders were split. The dead people who were originally close to the snake path quickly stood in the middle and did not dare to stand on the edge. Once they fell, they would also encounter the same thing.
And
this river is the Yellow Spring River. Once you fall in, you will never come back up. Even I can't rescue you, so if you want to die, just jump down. I will never stop you. Of course, whoever dares to chirp here, I will give you a ride. The Vajra demon pig sneered, exuding boundless evil energy. Hearing these words, many of the dead were trembling with chills. They no longer dared to talk nonsense in front of the Vajra demon pig, otherwise they would offend such a terrifying person, and they would be even more miserable than death. At this moment, some of the calmer dead finally remembered their memories of their lives, and they finally realized that they were really dead, and this was also the world of the dead. But thinking of this, the mood of these dead became more solemn, and they did not knowing what you will face in the future is a completely unknown world. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 339.
wow.
After sensing the threat of the Vajra demon pig, these dead people no longer dared to stay where they were. No matter how many doubts they had deep in their hearts, they did not dare to ask questions again. In short, they should leave this dangerous hell snake path as soon as possible. Otherwise, if they fall, they will really be hopeless. That would be even more miserable than death. Still lack of manpower. The King Kong demon pig touched his chin. Forget it, call the children over to help. As a jailer of hell, it will be too troublesome to manage these evil ghosts and undead without my subordinates. Like the three-eyed demon monkey and other chaos demon gods, it also created its own race when guarding Chaos City, the Demon Pig Clan. This race is also famous in all the worlds. Every demon pig has Vajra immortality. He has a bad body, can devour all things, eats copper and iron, and is extremely powerful. He is an extremely brave warrior, making countless enemies frightened. Just like Zhu Beiji in later generations, despite the fact that Zhu Beiji seems to be very useless on the way to learn the scriptures. But its combat power is also famous in heaven, and it is proficient in the 36 transformations of Tiangang. Otherwise, how could it be possible to be the marshal of Tianfeng? It's just that the enemies compared to Zhu Beiji are too powerful, which makes Zhu Beiji useless. At this moment, the demon pig, the entire clan also quickly received the order from the Vajra demon pig, and the entire race became excited. The Lord God has ordered us to enter the Hell World as jailers and maintain the order of the Hell World. Hell World? What kind of world is that? I don't know. It is said that the Lord of the city attaches great importance to it. It is the world that all beings in the world go to after death. It is extremely important. Great credit. This is definitely a great credit. The world where the dead are. What a place it is. Since it is an order from God, we must be obliged to do so. Pack your bags and head to hell, little ones. The entire Demon Pig clan was in a state of excitement. Without saying a word, they packed up their luggage and immediately headed to the underworld. Whoosh! Whoosh! Under the summons of the Vajra Demon Pig, the Demon Pig clan arrived in hell almost instantly. They are dozens of feet long, dressed in black, with black crowns and golden armor, and are full of murderous intent. These demon pigs directly become the jailers of hell, armed with axes, ropes, bows and arrows, swords, halberds and other weapons, driving away these evil spirits and undead souls, and maintaining the hell world. Order. It can be said that these demon warriors are simply born jailers. They are all ferocious and indestructible. They have infinite fighting power and are no match for many evil ghosts. Lord God. At this time, an elder of the demon pig came forward and said to the Vajra demon pig, "The hell world here is desolate everywhere. If you want to properly manage these evil spirits and maintain order, I'm afraid you need to build hell cities one after another. This is convenient. Manage. Build a city? It's a good idea, but we don't have the manpower to build a city here." The King Kong demon pig said, "It doesn't matter. Before we came here, we purchased a lot of engineering robots from the mechanical tribe. They can build houses extremely quickly, and they can also use local materials. If we use these engineering robots to build a city, it can be built on the spot in just 3 days. A vast city rises. The demon pig elder said confidently. If it were before, it would have been almost impossible for them to build a city. After all, the demon pig clan is only good at destruction and not good at construction at all. However, after cooperating with the machinery clan from the machinery clan, a lot of engineering robots have been purchased so that no matter where they go, they can use local materials to build a large number of buildings. In fact, all races and creatures in the world have such robots, so that even if countless buildings can be built to the ends of the earth. Very good, I'll leave this to you. The King Kong demon pig nodded and expressed satisfaction. Yes, Lord Kami. Many demon pig elders quickly retreated. A few days later, hell cities quickly rose up all over the hell world. These hell cities also housed evil ghosts and undead from various worlds. And the underworld also it began to prosper and gradually became the world of the dead. At this moment, near the Yellow Spring of Hell, which is the source of the Yellow Spring River, there is also an endless sea of blood next to it, which is called the Netherworld Blood Sea. This place exudes endless resentment, evil spirit, and death. As expected of the lord of the city, he was so powerful. With just a few moves, he actually opened up a world of the underworld and accommodated the dead in the infinite world. Luo Hu, who was hiding in the Nether Sea of Blood, was immediately amazed. He could sense that the entire hell world had undergone earth-shaking changes and was completely different from before. Originally, the space laws of this hell world were weak, and saints could leave and come when they wanted, but now it is different. It has been integrated into the endless laws of death. Without permission, it may be difficult for the living beings to enter this underworld. Fortunately, when the lord of the city opened up the world, it stayed in the sea of netherworld and blood. At this moment, it has also understood many deaths. The laws, and even its own true spirit, have been integrated into the hell world. It can be said that it is a creature born in the hell world, but it is not the dead, so it has the ability to enter and exit the hell world at will. I want to become a saint. I cannot become a saint here. I must leave hell. Thinking of this, he did not hesitate and quickly left the place in a flash. He also ignored the other saints. Anyway, they were just meeting by chance and they had survived the attack just now, and I believe they have a certain degree of self-protection ability. There is no need for him to worry about anything. A few days later, many warriors from the Bailey clan returned to their own tribe, and they also captured the saints from the universe, one by one. These saints did not die, but were captured as prisoners. All the power in them was sealed, and they almost used a little strength and strength. They were all ashen-faced and extremely anxious, not knowing what their future would be like. What happened? How come Elder Bailey and the others are missing? After returning, the Bailey clan leader's eyes shone brightly. He immediately found that the 3 elders were missing, and suddenly there was a bad feeling deep in his heart. The other Bailey clan elders were also shocked, looking for Bailey clan everywhere. Li Yu and others could not be found. We reported to the clan leader that Elder Bailey and the others had fallen. They were punched to death by a saint from the universe sea. They couldn't even struggle, so we quickly retreated and only captured these creatures from the universe sea and came back. A warrior from the Bailey clan said, with a sad look on his face. What? Killed Elder Bailey and the others with one punch. Hearing this, many Bailey clan elders were in disbelief. A creature that had just escaped from the universe sea could be so powerful. Not many people believed it. You did the right thing. You can't take risks. That comes from the creatures in Zhouhai are too powerful. If you are a little late, you may not be able to come back. The chief of the Bailey clan said solemnly. Patriarch, does a mere creature from the universe sea need to be so nervous? An elder said, what do you know? The Bailey clan leader snorted coldly. A mere creature from the universe sea? What qualifications do we have to say this? Most of the peerless powerful people in the origin continent are from the cosmic sea. On the contrary, we natives from the origin continent, but not many are peerless powerful people. A group of Bailey clan elders were speechless and had nothing to say. because this is the fact. They, the natives from the continent of origin, are far inferior to those peerless, powerful men from the universe sea. They can only look up to each other and breathe. If you dare not respect the other party, you will probably die. Are there not many indigenous tribes from the origin continent that have been wiped out over the years because of this? The primitive ancient snake. Chapter 344. In short, we must not underestimate any creature from the cosmic sea. The Bailey clan leader clenched his fists. Although most of them are not as good as the natives of our continent of origin, there is a huge gap in terms of qualifications and resources. But there are too many creatures in these cosmic seas. They come from every universe. After countless fights, countless years of experience, and even breaking out of dangerous cosmic seas, they finally arrived at the origin continent. How can this talent, this strength, and this determination be comparable to ordinary creatures? There are still living beings in so many universes, and you can imagine the monsters and powerful people born in them. In short, with such strength just after entering the origin continent, he killed Bailey Yu and 3 other elders with his bare hands. I am afraid that this cosmic sea creature has the potential to become the Overlord. Overlord? Hearing this, many Bailey clan warriors couldn't help but clench their fists. In the continent of origin where there are countless strong men, how terrifying it is to become an overlord. Even their Bailey tribe is here in front of the real overlord, just like ants, not worth mentioning at all. Forget it. Fortunately, you ran fast and there should be no trace of our Bailey clan. The Bailey clan leader said solemnly. In short, it is fortunate that you have captured so many cosmic sea creatures. You tortured them carefully, forced them to know all the knowledge, and recorded all this knowledge. This knowledge will become our Bailey tribe's food, helps the Bailey tribe grow. Knowledge. The eyes of many Bailishi warriors showed a glimmer of light. These creatures from the cosmic sea are eager to get the knowledge of the way forward, but how could they, the indigenous tribes, not want to get the knowledge from the powerful men of the cosmic sea? In the origin continent, knowledge is priceless, and high-end knowledge is monopolized in the hands of the strong. Aboriginal tribes like them are not qualified to obtain knowledge. Without cultivation knowledge, they will never be strong. Even if they have excellent resources, they will not be able to become true strong people. Just like North America and South America in Furukawa's previous life. These places have outstanding people and rich materials. But it is useless. Even if they have iron, ore, oil, and coal, they do not have any industrialization capabilities. In the end, the land was occupied by outsiders, and most of the indigenous people were killed. Having wealth in vain, but without the power and knowledge to protect the wealth, is ultimately aloft in the sky, just afloat without roots. They have no way to return from other parts of the continent of origin. After obtaining enough cultivation knowledge, they can only attack these sea creatures from the universe and plunder their knowledge. Most of this knowledge may not be of much significance to them, but some of it is meaningful, and that is worth it. Of course, there are also these the magic weapon from the sea creatures in the universe is also the weapon they long for. At this moment in another place in a cave. Furukawa is hiding in this cave to take stock of his gains. The first is the 3 black giant axes. They are all weapons of the previous Bailey clan elders, and their levels have reached the level of chaos magic weapons. Sharp. Furukawa can sense the power of these 3 black giant axes. Their materials are made of the chaos obsidian unique to the origin continent and are forged with many other materials. Their sharpness is extremely terrifying. With one strike of the axe, a prehistoric city will be destroyed. The world might be split in half. Rough. The refining method is too rough. He couldn't help but sigh, and found that the method of forging these 3 giant axes was extremely rough, just like an ox chewing peonies. He didn't know the method of forging magic weapons at all. But even so, the accumulation of materials alone made them reach the level of chaos magic weapon. If these 3 black giant axes are carefully refined by him and carved into countless chaos restrictions, they will definitely be promoted to the level of chaos magic weapon, even as good as Panga's Kaitian God Axe. Scent. a lot of precious materials. Furukawa was very excited. He took out the storage bag from the 3 Bailey clan elders, opened it, and immediately saw that it was filled with a large amount of precious materials from the origin continent. What Chaos Gang Silver Sand, Chaos Demonic Marrow Diamonds, Chaos Golden Flame Stones, Chaos Purple Essence Copper, etc., are rare materials that are rare even in the chaotic universe. But in this origin continent he saw a lot of them, and it seemed that they were not needed. Like money. In fact, not only the materials on these 3 elders are like this, but the entire origin continent is a treasure. Even the sand on the ground is origin god sand, stones, soil, trees, etc. All of them are treasures of heaven and earth. Although these things can be seen everywhere in the origin continent, if they are taken back to the chaotic universe, they will become extremely precious treasures. He felt that he was just like a mortal entering the fairy world, and saw that the fairy world was full of elites. Treasures everywhere. If I guessed correctly, the warriors from the Bailey clan I met before should be indigenous tribes from the continent of origin. Furukawa's eyes flashed. He could actually know the situation in part of the origin continent from his previous memories. In fact, the origin continent is divided into 3 huge forces. The first force is the indigenous life forms in the origin continent itself. The second force is the source beasts scattered everywhere. The so-called source beasts are terrible beings bred from the law of origin, the law of the Great Road, etc. They cannot reproduce. They are condensed by the law of the Great Road, and they are naturally powerful. There are the origin beasts became the most powerful as soon as they were born, without any need to practice. These origin beasts are numerous in number and have endless potential. They are scattered throughout the origin continent and naturally become a powerful force, occupying every territory. The third group, the power, is the many strong men from the cosmic sea. Obviously, the many strong men from the cosmic sea are each the top strong men in their respective universes. Their talents can be imagined. They are killed out of billions of creatures. Both in terms of talent and combat effectiveness, they are extremely powerful, and their number is even more boundless. Although the natives who were born in the continent of origin have a very superior environment, how can these natives who do not have much knowledge of cultivation come from the universe C? The opponent of the strong. After countless years of fighting, basically more than 50% of the powerful forces in the origin continent are strong men from the cosmic sea, and 40% of the forces come from the naturally powerful origin beasts. Only 10% of the forces they are indigenous life forms from the continent of origin. But even so, these indigenous life forms are naturally not willing to have their original territory robbed by the cosmic sea creatures, so they always want to counterattack and seize back their own territory. But obviously their results are not very big, still at an absolute disadvantage. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 345. The situation in the origin continent is very complicated. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. Although the origin continent is roughly divided into 3 camps, each camp is also divided into countless forces. For example, the strong men from the cosmic sea arrived at the origin continent, and those powerful cosmic forces the Lord built kingdoms one after another in the origin continent. And the Lord of the universe became the Lord of these kingdoms. In order to compete for the resources on the origin continent, these kingdoms often fought with each other. For countless years, these kingdoms did not know how many have been destroyed. Even the Lord of the universe may fall in such a struggle. Of course, in addition to kingdoms, some strong men don't like to establish countries, so they establish sects one after another, recruiting a large number of disciples, and their power also increased. No less than those kingdoms. Some ancient indigenous tribes are also extremely powerful. They occupy forests and build their own cities, always confronting these kingdoms and sections. There are also those origin beasts. They occupy each and every one of them. The secret realms of the origin continent. These secret realms have the powerful power of the law of origin, and even those kingdoms cannot easily set foot in them. Occasionally, when these origin beasts come out of the secret realm, they will form a beast tide, and I don't know how many lives have died and how many forces have been destroyed.
So,
The entire origin continent is also full of dangers, and the level of danger is comparable to that of the prehistoric world. Forget it. No matter how many forces there are in the origin continent, I'm just here to practice. As long as I can find a way to practice in the future, then everything else doesn't matter. Furukawa doesn't want to compete for hegemony in the origin continent. He just wants to practice quietly. As for the grievances of many forces, it actually has little to do with him. However, understanding these forces and grievances can also help him avoid a lot of troubles on the origin continent.
trouble.
By the way, there are also these origin stones, which are indispensable things in the origin continent. Furukawa's eyes flashed. In fact, in addition to some precious materials and magic weapons, the biggest gain is the origin stone on these three elders. The so-called origin stone is actually a unique ore on the origin continent, which contains a huge amount of origin energy. Swallowing an origin stone is equivalent to a saint practicing for tens of billions of years, and swallowing this energy has no side effects. If enough is swallowed, the origin energy will also enhance the level of life and increase talents. Ability. One can imagine how precious this origin stone is. Moreover, the role of the origin stone is simply omnipotent. If the origin stone is used, it can be refined into magic weapons, elixirs, and formation diagrams.
Wait.
So, due to the role of the origin stone, it has become the universal currency of the origin continent. On the origin continent, all things can be purchased with origin stones. No one will dislike having too many origin stones on their body, even in the universe. So is the Lord. There are actually 30,000 origin stones, and I really made a fortune this time. Furukawa said with emotion. He didn't expect that the three Bailey clan elders had so much wealth. You must know that ordinary saints only have a few hundred origin stones at most. After all, once the saints get the origin stones, they will use them for practice. There are very few left. For example, the beings from the origin continent that he killed before did not have many origin stones on them, because they had already been consumed by them, and no trace was left. It is conceivable that these three Bailey clan the elder must be a rich man, otherwise he would not have so many origin stones. However, having so many origin stones can be regarded as solving his current urgent need. After all, 3 cents is enough to kill a heroic man. It is conceivable that importance of money. Let's go and see what the situation in the origin continent is like. After Furukawa took stock of all the gains, he got up and left the cave. There was no need to stay here to waste time. Whoosh! In an instant, his figure flashed, and his whole body appeared in a state of virtualization, silently and blending in. In this void, not even the gravity of the origin continent can restrain him. Sure enough, once my body becomes empty, even the origin continent cannot restrain my power. Furukawa smiled slightly. He just had this idea before, but now he has tried and succeeded. You must know that in the origin continent, only the strong who have reached the realm of the Lord of the Universe can break free from the shackles of the origin continent and be free. Fly freely in the origin continent. He has not reached the realm of the Lord of the Universe and cannot leave the origin continent on his own. But now he can actually get rid of the constraints of the origin continent's laws and fly freely, which gives him a unique ability in the origin continent. A huge advantage. Even without the teleportation array built by the Lords of the Universe, he can leave the origin continent anytime and anywhere without being bound by the origin continent. This gives Furukawa great convenience and allows him to move in the universe. The battle under the Lord has the upper hand. Whoosh! Furukawa's body flashed. With his virtual body, he was incredibly fast. The initial speed had already reached 100 times the speed of light, and his speed was still accelerating. During the process, it would be difficult for any saint to detect his figure. Because the virtual body has no resistance, nothing can intercept him. Several years passed in the blink of an eye. Furukawa crossed an endless forest and occasionally encountered some strong indigenous people or source beasts on the way, but he still passed by without any danger, and there were no lives that came to trouble him. Finally, he arrived at the largest city nearby, which seemed to be a country called Jin. This city was also called Jincheng. It was extremely prosperous and covered an area of more than 1,000,000 light-years in diameter. What a magnificent city wall! Furukawa looked up, and he immediately saw that the walls of Jincheng were covered with dense chaos restriction formations, showing a three-dimensional restriction formation, exuding an extremely dangerous atmosphere. Even the power of the Lord of the Universe, I am afraid that it will be difficult to break through the forbidden defense of this city wall in a short period of time. At the same time, the material of this city wall is also special. It seems to be chaos ink stone. It can swallow up the power of the attack to the greatest extent and return most of the power to nothingness. Basically, the materials of many city walls on the origin continent are made of chaos ink stone, which is hard enough to make any saint helpless. The defense of this city wall alone surpasses that of Chaos City. It is worthy of being a kingdom on the origin continent, so we have come to the right place. Furukawa suppressed the excitement deep in his heart. To be honest, the chaos restriction formations on these city walls gave him great inspiration and benefited him a lot. It is conceivable that after entering this Jincheng, he will definitely find a harvest that satisfied him. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 346. Several days passed in the blink of an eye. After Furukawa entered Jincheng, he immediately discovered that there were countless creatures in the city, of different types, and they were powerful, but not all of them were saints. In fact, in the origin continent, a large part of them are creatures under the saints. Although the continent of origin is rich in resources and has a superior cultivation environment, the descendants born of these saints may not be promoted to the realm of saints, and most of them will be trapped in the realm of quasi-sages. With such strength, if it were in the universe, it would be very powerful, but in the origin continent, it would be very weak, like an ant. These characters are at the lowest level in the continent of origin. They can only do some hard work or become waiters and other hard jobs. I couldn't find any cultivation knowledge. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. To be honest, what surprised him the most was that in the origin continent, all cultivation knowledge is almost monopolized and is not allowed to be disseminated. The strict procedures are comparable to the patents of science and technology. Once there is even the slightest leak, all the major forces will hunt for it. Therefore, if you want to learn the knowledge of cultivation in the origin continent, if you don't join the forces of a certain kingdom, you must join the forces of a certain sect so that you can learn cultivation methods. Of course, there are public cultivation methods that everyone can learn, but the problem is that these cultivation methods are also extremely expensive, and ordinary cultivators cannot afford them. As for the realm of the Lord of the Universe and the cultivation methods, it is kept strictly confidential. Ordinary beings have no idea what realm there is above the Lord of the Universe and how powerful it is. Actually have a monopoly? Although Furukawa had expected it before, he didn't expect the situation to be so serious. Every force regards its own cultivation method as the biggest secret, and it will never be allowed to be leaked, otherwise it will definitely pursue them with all their strength. Basically, they will pursue them with all their strength. There are huge barriers between every force in the world, and outsiders are not allowed to pry. If you want to obtain the method of cultivation, you must join a certain force, and you must also sign a law contract. You can never betray this force, otherwise you will definitely be counterattacked by the law and die instantly. In this way, this force can remain eternally strong, and there is no need to worry about the leakage of one's secrets, nor the need to worry about any problems within one's own sect. It is precisely because of such strictness the secrecy has also made it difficult for the indigenous tribes in the origin continent to obtain the method of cultivation. Without the method of cultivation, it is difficult for them to compete with the forces from the cosmic sea. After all, the difficulty of opening up a method from scratch is not something ordinary people can do. It's conceivable. The method of cultivation is actually similar to the top technology in previous lives. Mastering this top technology is one who is superior to others. It is equivalent to the crushing of developed countries on the development of China, and there is no way to compete with it. Now there's trouble. Furukawa squinted his eyes, revealing a glimmer of light. He didn't expect that it would be so difficult to obtain the cultivation method in the origin continent, and that he would have to join a certain force. To be honest, he didn't really care if he joined a certain force. The problem is that he is just a clone now. Although this technique is extremely powerful, ordinary saints cannot see it at all, and it is difficult to see the secret. But if the saint cannot see it, the Lord of the Universe will definitely be able to see it. Once you enter among the opposing forces, they will be seen through in an instant, and it is impossible to join the forces on the origin continent. In this way, it will be difficult to obtain a lot of training information. It seems that the wish compass still needs to be used. Furukawa clenched his fists. He was also very glad that he had obtained this secret treasure of the universe. It would allow him to find a way out of a desperate situation. The help to him would be unimaginable. Thinking of this, he did not hesitate, and immediately deep in his heart, he expressed his wish. Wish compass, help me find a being who knows a lot of cultivation knowledge, does not need to join the other party's force, and does not pose any life threat to me, like by Xiaoxing.
Buzz.
In an instant, the wish compass sensed Furukawa's wish and immediately started to rotate. It swallowed the essence and blood of Furukawa's clone, and the pointer began to rotate crazily. He was very nervous inside, and he didn't know this clone.
Can you hold on?
If the essence and blood in the body are exhausted, I'm afraid this clone will be completely destroyed.
Fortunately,
the wish compass only turned a few times and seemed to have stopped, and it would not be possible to consume the power in his body. A lot, which is also a kind of luck. Actually, in Jincheng? Furukawa narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect to find the life he wanted to find in Jincheng. It was probably so close, so the wish compass didn't consume too much energy. But if you think about it carefully, this is also a normal thing. After all, Jincheng is the largest city nearby, the capital of Jin State, with many powerful people, including the Lord of the Universe. It is normal for some strange people to appear.
Whoosh.
Thinking of this, Furukawa did not hesitate and followed the wish compass with instructions flashing. He walked along the streets and alleys for half a day. Finally, he came to a remote elixir shop in Jincheng. It didn't even have a signboard. It was in tatters and looked like it was selling elixirs. But there was not even a customer, and the surroundings were quiet and silent. But Furukawa had no doubts, because the pointer of the wish compass was pointing to this place, and he entered the elixir shop directly. Suddenly, he saw a 7-year-old. The 80-year-old man seemed to have aged out of his appearance. He was lying on the cabinet and fast asleep, as if he didn't even know that he had come in. Interesting. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. He couldn't sense any aura from this old man. You must know that in Jincheng, where there are so many powerful people, not being able to sense any aura is enough to indicate that the other party is unusual. Without strength, it would be impossible. If you gain a foothold on the continent of origin, you will be annexed by others sooner or later. Oops, here comes the guest. I wonder what elixir you want to buy. I have all the elixirs here. At this time, the old man in gray robe seemed to wake up, raised his head and looked at Furukawa and greeted warmly. I don't know what to call this old man? Furukawa asked, cupping his hands. How to call it? The name is just a code name. I have forgotten this kind of thing a long time ago. If you insist on calling me by my name, you can call me Wuming. But judging from the appearance of this guest, it seemed that he was not here to buy elixirs. The old man in gray robe smiled slightly. He stared at Furukawa with a glint in his eyes. Yes, I'm not here to buy elixirs, but I want to ask you a few questions. Furukawa said solemnly. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 347. Ask questions. Hearing this, the old man in gray robe suddenly laughed. I'm afraid you have found the wrong person. I'm just a bad old man. I don't know anything. No, you must know. Fate has led me to you. Then you must know something. Furukawa said decisively. Destiny. The gray-robed old man's eyes showed a frightening light. He knew that there are many powerful people in the origin continent, and there are countless secret methods. If there is a secret method that can spy on destiny and find himself, it must be true. He does not dare to underestimate him at all. Any creature in the origin continent that masters secret arts. Interesting. What do you want to ask? The old man in gray robe asked calmly. He wanted to know what Furukawa's purpose was, so that he could make a plan. It's very simple. I want to know how to practice, how to be promoted to the Lord of the Universe, what is the state after the Lord of the Universe, and how to practice. Furukawa asked all his questions without reservation. This is just common sense. As long as you join any force, you will know such information, but you don't know. It turns out that you are a creature that recently came from the cosmic sea. For some reason, you don't want to join other forces. The gray-robed old man's eyes flickered, and he vaguely guessed Furukawa's many origins from Furukawa's words. That's right, I am indeed a creature that just came from the universe sea. I don't know much about everything here, so I need information. Furukawa felt that there was nothing to hide, so he admitted it bluntly. I just came to the origin continent, and you actually have this kind of strength. I'm afraid your level when you left the universe must be extremely high. The old man in gray robe narrowed his eyes. You don't need to speculate. This is personal information, and I will not leak it. Furukawa said calmly. Then there is nothing to say. You also know that the most important thing in the origin continent is equivalent exchange. I can tell you what I know, but what can you give me? The old man in gray robe looked at Furukawa. Then, it depends on what you want. If you need the origin stone, I can give it to you. Furukawa rode. No, the origin stone is nothing. I have plenty of such things. I can't tell you the information you want to know, but you must promise me one thing unconditionally. The gray-robed old man's eyes flashed. That's not necessary. Furukawa shook his head. It's just a little bit of information. You just want me to promise you something unconditionally. If you ask me to die, don't I have to die? This is not an equal exchange. And you also said that this is information that everyone knows. I just lack the means for the time being. The value of your information is not as great as imagined. He is not someone who has been taken advantage of. He will not be fooled by this gray-robed old man casually. Even if he doesn't go to this gray-robed old man, there will be other ways to get similar knowledge. No, no, no. Of course I won't let you die. I will only let you do something within your power. Moreover, the information you can get from me is definitely more than you imagine, and it is also worth your money. It is definitely difficult to find it elsewhere. The old man in gray robe said seriously. Hearing this, Furukawa fell silent. It would be best if he could get information from this old man. After all, even if he left Jean's state, he would not know where to find similar people. After all, he's just a clone now. If his real body is here, he naturally doesn't care about these things and can use the wish compass at will. What do you want me to do? Furukawa stared at the old man in gray robe and asked. I want you to enter the Jean Palace and steal something. The old man in gray robe said solemnly. Entering the Jean Palace to steal things? Your request is too much. There is a powerful person, like the Lord of the Universe, guarding it. How can it be so easy to enter? Furukawa immediately laughed when he heard this. If this is not an excessive request, then what is? The leader of the Jean Kingdom is a strong man at the level of the Lord of the Universe. If he goes in, a clone will probably be wiped out in an instant. No, 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 you haven't heard me out yet. In fact, this task has no time limit. You can complete it whenever you want. You can also complete it slowly after you are promoted to the Master of the Universe. The old man in gray robe said. No deadline? Furukawa narrowed his eyes. Interesting, if that's the case. Doesn't it mean I don't have to finish it? I can completely postpone this matter indefinitely, but there is nothing you can do about it. No, no, no. If you are promoted to the Lord of the Universe, if you want to go further, you will definitely complete it. The old man in gray robe shook his head. Of course, you can also say that I am betting that you will become the Master of the Universe, so I made such a condition. His purpose is very simple, that is, to bet that Furukawa will become the Master of the Universe. It doesn't matter even if he doesn't succeed. Anyway, what he paid was just some information, and it didn't cost him much. But if he succeeds, he will have huge gain. This is investment. The higher the risk, the higher the return. He doesn't know how many times he has made similar bets, and there are many failures, but once he succeeds, he will make a huge profit. Okay, I promise you, but there must be no concealment or any falsehood in what you say. Furukawa thought about it carefully and finally agreed to the conditions of the gray-robed old man. After all, if it was just stealing things with his ability to become invisible, he would be able to enter and exit any place as if he were in an uninhabited land, and there would be no way to stop him. Moreover, there is no deadline for the mission. The most important thing is that he urgently needs all kinds of information after being promoted to the Master of the Universe.